Click clap, Piao evening. I don't know if they're taking the mic or not, but they're saying they can hear me, but not you. Ben saying we can't hear you. Martello, we can't hear you. And then was it Richie's put on we can hear Albert, but not you.
Dex, we can't hear you on stream.
Yeah, yes. I have told them.
Please. Blue Snowball, here we go. Right. Ladies and gentlemen. Yes! Right. There we go. For some reason, things have changed since I last streamed. And, yeah. Thank you very much for pointing that out, people. So, I now have a microphone. Yay! Right. So, let's try that once again. Lads, lasses, people with glasses, and of course, all of those in between. My name, in case you didn't already know, is Dexter. That's the third time that I've tried that tonight, and thank you very much for joining us. Tonight, I am being joined by...
Me!
I believe, yeah, to be fair, you've already kind of had Albert's introduction.
I've said, yeah, they've probably heard me 3 times.
Yeah, and Colin, are you still there? Or has he dropped back out?
He's dropped back out.
Ah, Colin, get yourself on here. Right then. So, let's go through the shout-outs again then. So, we've got Colin, we've got Richie Wong, we've got Paul Cross, we've got Martello, Gassy, Ben Rex, Artwood, Nikki T. What else? Who else? We've got Bro Paintball. And I think there was more, but not that then. And we also have Ben in stream. We also have, I'm very sorry if I massacre the pronunciation of your name, but Gwynel Juan is in the stream. Hello there. Rexy UK. Ben, you don't need to use two different profiles. Just one will suffice. Thank you very much for dropping in tonight, guys. It is a pleasure to see us all, and hopefully you can now hear my beautiful linguistics and enjoy. And we're still surprisingly on 16 viewers. What was that? What was that? Sorry, Albert.
I reckon everyone should change the names just to try and listen to you to try and see them.
I didn't get that. My brain just didn't register that.
Change the names. Funny hearing you trying to pronounce it.
Ah, right. Right then. Colin says there's no good on TV then. Chris Varney, thank you very much for dropping in. And Richie Wong says 17 viewers, new record. He blames Martello for the popularity. Well, you know, what can I say? World-class superstar here.
It's not a record. We had 26 when you had Nicky T on.
Yes, okay. You know, I peaked a bit early, but come on. Anyway.
That's what she said.
Yes, indeed. That is what she said. And also, now we're just waiting to see if the Channy Man turns up and if Colin is actually going to come back. Sound is better on Works mobile than yours. Plus, wanted to make sure wasn't an issue with this end. Oh, that's fair enough. Thank you very much for checking. Colin says, might be able to hear us doesn't mean that you can understand us, either of you. Well, that's also true. Yes, apparently we are hard to understand. Can you believe that? Can you believe that some people think that we are hard to understand? Do you not know we speak the Queen's English? And yes, Martello, spread the love.
Yeah,
thank you very much, my friend. So what was that there, Albert?
Need subtitles for all the Southerners.
Yep. Ah, right then. So, surprise! I thought we'd been on for longer than 8 minutes, to be honest. I'm glad that somebody that you actually took the time to let us know that the stream wasn't going well, and yeah, and that that was sorted out. Oh, Gussie, I thought you were allowed to buy what you wanted as long as she got something as well. Yeah, Gussie says that he's been told he can't order a free flow. His wife is evil. Right. So then, Martello, I hope that you're planning on hanging around because we may have some questions for you a little bit later on if you're prepared to divulge some secrets to her. If not, then we will just have to speculate wildly.
I just want to ask him one question.
Right.
And it might go over a few people's heads.
Would you like to fire away now or would you like to save it for later?
I'll save it later.
Champion.
Yeah.
So then, ladies and gentlemen, Albert is normally my man with the plan for these streams. He is the one that has all of the conversation topics sorted out. Which reminds me, I'm forgetting to ask about games for this weekend again. But I will post up about that later on. Anyway, so yes, Albert is the one that holds the topics. But tonight, and Albert, please feel free to correct us if I miss anything. But tonight the plan is we are talking about dodgy paintball masks. Again, for some reason this is a subject that will not die. We also have a game that has been advertised, which is certainly very interesting. There is another game. There is a game that I'm actually planning on possibly attending. I can't say for certain, but it's looking pretty good at the moment. Just coming up very soon, very soon. And was that what else was there, Albert?
Continuous feed for the MG100.
Yes, indeed. So, Albert, would you like to pick a topic to start off?
Advertised on Facebook now, not just eBay.
What was that? I think I know, but you kind of roboted for a second there, so I just want to clarify.
Doing the same, basically about the masks that are now.
You roboted again. I'm going to drop out and then drop back in. I really need to sort this out. We are trying to do something to work on this, which I must say thank you very much to Martello for sending us the information on, and hopefully we will have something sorted out that is better than Discord soon. If not, then I don't really know what to tell you.
That anybody? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep. Well,
Fantastic.
basically what I was saying was now that Facebook are now advertising dodgy paintball masks.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's I was actually sent this by Ben as well. For those that are watching the chat, that is Wizbit. Ben sent us a link to these skull masks that have been posted around at the moment at the minute. Some of you may have seen them, some of you may have not have. I will try and bring up a link in the secondary chat, which let's see if this actually works.
God help us.
Right. Can I open this?
I'm just looking for something that Ben's asked me. So if I go quiet for a second, I'm trying to find something.
No problem. I'm just going to copy this over to here and paste. There we go. I should have prepared this earlier, but of course, naturally I didn't. Right, now, the stream is a bit low quality. The video is a bit low quality here. I'm probably not going to play the full video because, frankly, I'm trying not to get copyright strikes. But we will see what I do. Whoa! Whoa, what was that? Right, now, if I can just pause that. I'll probably... Stop. Stop.
What are you doing now, Dick?
Audio is playing that I didn't want to play. Right now,
Oh,
stay.
it's not that dwarf porn again, is it?
No, it's not that. Right then, ladies and gentlemen, I should be able to... I'm just going to make sure that I haven't got an indecent open here. That's not what I wanted to share. How am I going to do this then? I'll drag this back over to that one. Alright. I'm going to have to minimize OBS. I'm very sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but it wouldn't be the Technical Problem broadcast without technical problems. Right then. Over to here. There we go. Right, now I should be able to share this. I just have to move this window over here. And now, if we click on...
One of these masks.
Dex, I'm being told that they can't hear you again when you're on the small screen.
Properties. No, it's not that one. Properties. Why? I don't understand why YouTube, why OBS has done this. Why it's changed all my settings randomly. But there you go. You should be able to hear us now. So yeah, you've seen a little bit of the video. But yes, this is another one where it is, if you see somebody turn up to an event wearing one of these masks, please try and convince them not to. I'll play a little bit more of the video here. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Play a little bit more of the video here, just so you can get a bit more of a view of them. It's just solid plastic. I'd be very, very interested to see if this can withstand a paintball shot. I don't believe for a second it can, but I'd be very interested to see, just out of curiosity. Which then leads us on to, I'm going to drop back over onto the main screen here. Just click on that. The main screen, there we go. There we are. Right then. Right then. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you see somebody with one of these masks turned up to a game, please try and, you know, in a nice way, because, you know, chances are somebody that's buying one of these masks probably doesn't know better. But yeah, you see somebody turn up with one of these masks, try and direct them away from it. But yeah, I've got some ideas which I'm which I'm planning on seeing if I can work on a little bit. But the basic gist of it is, I'm kind of wondering about, I'm thinking about doing some testing on some of these sorts of masks. Now, of course, it all depends on how much they cost, because I am not made of money. But I'm seriously considering buying some of these masks and just seeing what they can actually take. A lot of people are familiar with I think it's the FMA A1 mask that was, it pretty much went viral around the paintball community. I think it was earlier on this year, maybe last year, when some of the staff, I believe it was Chris from Combat Zone Lincoln, actually took the... Why did that share that bit of the screen there? I believe it was Chris from Combat Zone Lincoln that actually shared a video of him shooting one of these FMA A1 masks, and the lens within, I think it was 2 shots, was unusable. I mean, the lens was shot through pretty much after 2 shots or something. Even after 1 shot, that mask would not be safe to be on field with. And yeah, like I said, that video kind of went viral within the paintball community. And I'm kind of curious about doing some videos along those lines, where maybe have a look online, have a look on Amazon, see these masks that are up for, you know, where they're advertised as perfect for paintball, and then just see what they can actually do. If they can actually take a shot. Even if they can take a shot, most of these masks aren't rated for paintball, so any good site wouldn't allow you to use them. But I'm curious to see what they can actually take. Have you got any thoughts on that, Albert?
Paul's put on here that a mask that's similar to what you've just shown was shot with BBs and disintegrated.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly not good.
Yeah, definitely a good idea, because about you doing this series of videos, because yeah, people need to be shown, you know, that they're not safe.
Yeah.
They might be saving 10, 15 quid money, but what's money compared to your eyesight or your life?
I mean, in all fairness, I believe that, was it about £30 that the FMA A1 was being sold for? £30 with a lens. And
really,
those masks.
So when you think about it, not really that. You can buy a half decent mask for that sort of money from a proper paintball.
That's the thing. The FMA A1 looks almost identical to a dye i4, without actually knowing what you are looking at. I mean, some chances are, if you were at a big game, somebody could walk past you with one of those on, and you would never know. Now, that is well established now that is a very unsafe mask. But like I said, it was about £30 for to buy. I'm pretty sure it was about £30 to buy. Now, if you take that mask, if you take somebody that doesn't know what they're buying, sees that mask and sees it compared to an i4 and goes, hang on, the i4 is, I mean, what, it's well over £100 now? If you actually want to buy a brand new i4, I'm pretty sure they're over 100 quid, aren't they?
2 seconds?
But yeah, I mean, so you could be potentially saving 3 times the cost of the mask on something that the first time you use it is going to be completely unusable, and potentially could scar you for the rest of your life, blind you for the rest of your life. Yeah, that's it. Ben, Gareth at Urban did do an FMA an FM1 or mascot, FMA1 or whatever it was, because it was actually Gareth's testing that I used for my video on the FMA1. And it's amazing. I've talked about it before, but it's still amazing just how many people, even after, what was that, like 4 years ago, even after all that time, and there then being Chris's video now, I still get people asking, well, would this mask be okay if I just changed the lens in it? Like, the actual frame warped when it was shot. It wasn't just like the lens cracked and that was it. The frame, I believe, on Gareth's testing actually bent out of place. It didn't even keep the lens in it. If it does that, then it doesn't matter if you put in a new lens or not. It's still not up for standards. It's still no good for paintball. Right.
Right.
Paul has sent us a link.
Die I4 is £109.94.
What was it, 109?
Yeah, £109.94.
So that's the thing. Somebody sees a brand new Die I4 for £109. Let's say 110 just for simplicity, and sees the FMA A1 for £30. Let's say for simplicity. Well, that's you blind. For the sake of saving yourself, what, 80 quid? Not a good idea. Yeah, you see, that one there, Paul, that you've sent us, that's another one where that's probably not going to take a shot. That actually does look like a paintball mask. I'll drop over onto the share screen so that you can see this as well. Just making sure that I haven't got anything on my showing what my eBay page is there or anything.
Right. Oh, what you've been buying on eBay, like?
Just random bits and pieces. Yeah, so that there.
Release the GIMP.
Yeah, but yeah, that's another one there that probably can't take a shot. I mean, I wouldn't trust it, but it's another one that's, you know, if you're just happening to be listening to this, which God help you, but if you're listening to this and not actually watching, outdoor full face mask, PC lens, hunting paintball airsoft tactical helmet. You know, this is probably going to be fantastic if you want to dress up and play costume or something like that. You know, if you're wanting to have something that you can then build on for LARP or something like that. Yeah, this mask's probably great for you. Costs you a tenner. You can then do something with it. You can build something out of it. But for paintball, yeah, you don't want to be trusting this. Right, I'll drop back over onto main screen. There we go.
Ben asked me about the auctions for Heroes versus Villains. I've looked on the site. The auctions they're saying ended on the 12th, but to be quite honest, in case I get it wrong, I don't want to be saying over air who I think's won.
Right. Well,
because for some reason the comments are all jumbled.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to work out who is the highest bidder, but I don't want to see over air who I think it is if it's not correct.
Yeah. At this point, I'm hoping that they might put out a list of who won what or what the winning bids were on things.
Yeah, that's what they need to do, because like I say, for some reason I'm on the Infinity Pump, and the comments are all over the place.
Yeah.
So I don't want to. I might miss a post here and say that someone's won when there's someone else might have. So I think it'd be better off waiting until they actually release a proper list of who's
full
won.
list.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. I'm watching comments popping up at different times on different things here. Strange. Anyhow, right, yeah. But, well, this is. I hope that's what they choose to do.
Well, fingers crossed that's what they do, because like I say, I don't want to be saying stuff over it.
Yeah. Well, that's it. We don't want to be putting out misinformation, do we?
what one post 3 days, then the next post says 3 weeks,
Yeah.
then the next post after that says 3 days, then I've got another post saying 6 days, then I've got another post saying from last week. So the posts are all over the place.
Colin
So,
says
yeah.
Colin says 460 was the final bid.
Right,
That's
okay,
pretty good.
well, I cannot find 460.
Mm.
If that's the case, that somebody's getting a bargain.
Yes, I totally agree. The amount of work and care and time that was put into that marker, it was worth more than that. But
Double.
yeah. Ben says he remembers seeing it as 450. But
Yes, I can remember 450. That's the one I can find on here. And like I say, I don't want to say the wrong person.
yes. Yeah. But that's it. We don't know if it's maybe been a private bid or God knows.
Yeah, like I say, they need to really, the heroes versus villains, the people who ran it really should do a list.
Yeah. Well, Gussie says that it was the Marshall Troy won it, and the CVO for 310 for the CVO.
Right.
Which,
Right.
yeah, he's getting some bargains there.
The only one I can find on the pump that was ran the last bid was it wasn't what they're saying was the winning one.
Yeah.
So like I say, I'm going to keep it go through.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Until we get the clarification from the auctions and stuff. Just because I agree with Albert, and we don't want to miss something and for to make mistakes with that. So yes, it would be good to get clarification from the actual auction, or from the site. And also, yes, thank you very much for that link there, Paul. I think some of these would be great to do a series on, just because see if they actually if they can withstand being shot, which I do not for a second believe they can. But yeah, I mean, like I said, you know, like that skull mask. Yes, it looks kind of cool, and maybe it's rated for airsoft, but even airsoft, I'd be wary.
That's where they're going to get people in it because they think it looks cool.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly it. Hello there, Chandy Man. I don't know if you can actually hear us at this point.
What?
I said hello.
Yes.
This is where I'm waiting for the. My name's Jeff. Anyhow, right. Colin says the CVO was a bargain. The pump is cheap, but not a bargain. Well, I still think.
I heard that.
I still think that is a bargain. They known the sort of the amount of work that he's put into that. I think he's definitely getting a bargain for it.
Go and buy the CVO.
What was that? Chan? Hello? We really need to try and get Skype sorted out for this. Now you see, I don't know if this is on my end or if it's on Chan's end. Because Albert's not responding now either.
How much did it go for?
What?
Well, we've got a bit of thingy on this. I've tried looking on the website, but Gussie is saying the pump went for 460 and the CVO went for 310.
Oh,
and Dex, you're doing the robot.
Damn it. See, I can hear them fine. Disconnect. Reconnect. There we go.
yeah, so are you, Albert.
Right,
Yeah,
I can
I was
hear
doing
Chan
that.
perfectly fine there now.
I was taking my finger off from the button on purpose, John.
Gussie says, has anyone tried any of the new Pinocchio packs yet? Just looking at the 6+9. I'm not sure if I've even seen those yet, Gussie.
A 6+9.
Yeah.
Was that made for Dave Brook Reid?
Well,
Why take one case of paint onto the field when you could take two?
well, you know what it is? The 6+9. The only thing I can think it must be similar to would be like the original. When I think that, the first thing that pops into my head is the old Empire fast packs, where as you took your pods out, the pack would actually get smaller and tighter up against your body. It was basically just
That's
like a
what you
big
said.
elastic band and a big sort of pack. Well, the pack was elasticated to the extreme, so
That's
I
what he
think,
said.
yeah. I think you had like it was either normally a 3 or a 4 plus however many, and then you had like another layer where you could shove pods in as well. But because it was completely strapless, they were notorious for you just losing pods as you were playing. Yeah. That was, I think, my first proper battle pack that I had. Was naff.
They were bad packs, them fast packs.
What's that?
The GT fast packs. They were
No, they
quite
weren't
good.
GT ones. They were Empire.
Empire, then, sorry. Yeah.
Actually, I
They,
wonder.
they were good. But it was just when the elastic got worn.
Yeah. I'm just googling it to see if I can actually find an image of one. Images. yeah.
So while you're doing that,
Mhm.
Chan, are you playing the District 23 Glow in the Dark?
Hell yeah, I am.
Dex, I'm guessing you're trying to make it.
I'm trying to, yeah. I'm
Dex is always
really
trying
hoping.
to come.
I'm always trying to, yeah.
Trying to
Empire
come.
fast packs.
Very trying.
Yeah, specifically the one on the left there, and I think it was the one on the left I had, but in blue, or it might have been the fourth one along there. I think I might have had that one. It was an alright pack. And now that I'm actually looking at them again, I want one again.
I tell you which pack I really missed is the limited edition one. It was the first pack I bought from ANS Gear that had on sale. It was an NXE Zach Long, Bob Long's son.
Yeah.
And it was like the pattern was like a Sailor Jerry's tattoo pattern.
Yes, it was.
So it was
it the white one? There was like it was mostly white, but then had like stuff all over it.
Yeah, it was all white with little like stars and anchors and panthers and like all like gypsy women type tattoo things.
I know exactly the pack that you mean, and I hated the design of them. the pack itself was a brilliant pack, but I mean that's basically the same sort of pack that I use now.
Pack.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically the same sort of pack that I use now. I mean, the NXE pack that I was using when I was playing Tony was brilliant, and I think I eventually wore mine out. But I absolutely love that design of a pack. But the sort of that limited edition, it just looked rank to me. Well,
you haven't got any tattoos, have you?
Not yet. I've got a few scars. Gassy says he sent you a video, Albert.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, a pack that carries 15 pods.
Yeah. Is it one of those where like it sticks out about 2 foot from your back?
It's the Pinocchio. It's the 6.
Ah, right.
It's the 6+9.
Right. Yeah. The Pinocchio pack that he was on about before.
Yeah, it's mental.
Gassy says the NXE Dave Baines Beast Pack, and Richie Wong seconded with NXE Beast Pack was his favourite. Which now that that's been mentioned, I'm gonna have to look it up, aren't I? NXE Beast Pack. Yeah. I remember those. Right. Share screen. Here we go. That's what we're looking for.
Dex, I'm sharing you the video that Gassy sent me. If you fast forward it to around about 5 minutes and 30 seconds, then you'll see what he's on about.
Right. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Okie dokie. So, Colin, how are your taco fajitas? I don't understand how we can have a taco fajita. A taco and a fajita are two totally different things.
Well, I think the fajitas when you put them in the oven, but by the time you cook them, it then becomes crispy like a taco.
I want to know how Colin's not about 40 clem.
That's it.
Sorry, for all you southern viewers, that's 40 stone.
Yep. This is it. Like, Colin should be huge. I don't understand why he's
Queen's
not.
English now. Queen's English now. Huge.
A rather large gentleman.
Should be muckle massive.
It's done on purpose now. You're gonna come out with crap like Kushti and Howie, man, aren't you?
Kushti Blair, like who?
He's got imaginary dig as well.
Kushti Belter. My dog is not imaginary to me.
Oh, I think I know about your imaginary dog again.
Yes,
Dex.
my dog is not imaginary. Damn you all.
Yes, it is.
Proper real in that who?
It's proper real like. Oh god.
Takes it for work and everything.
I take me dog for a whack. Right, chat. Anyway, are you up for assisting me with a video series?
What?
A video series.
Usually what happens in the Nest hotel room stays in the Nest hotel room.
It's called Ginge Does Newcastle.
What?
Dexter does Darlington.
Instead of Dexter does Dallas, Ginge does Newcastle.
Yeah. For those of you that may be under the age of 18, I would highly recommend not searching for Debbie Does Dallas. Anyway, yes. Right, so yes, Chan, I've been thinking, and I was considering maybe
Dangerous.
doing what?
Dangerous.
Yes.
You see the coals going around, can't you? The pain in his face.
Yeah. Yes, I was thinking, right? Do you fancy doing a video series on Perfect for Paintball? Basically, taking products that are advertised as being, perfect for paintball or things like that, or, good for paintball or ideal for paintball, blah, 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 and basically just shooting the shit out of them and seeing if they break.
Okay, what do you mean? What sort of thing are you talking about when you say ideal for paintball?
Like masks mostly, yeah. Things like that. The mask that Gareth from Urban did a video on ages ago, or
Oh yes.
yeah, or
Alright,
well,
so
like Chris did the video on.
You're talking about stuff that just has paintball linked on it.
Yes.
And then, yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Because I don't know if you've noticed, Chan, but they're now advertising so-called paintball masks on Facebook.
Of the?
Yep. Ben sent a link of basically a mask. There's no way that you would dare go on a paintball field with it.
Oh, hang on, it's not like them Army of Two ones, is it?
That's the one.
It's a
Yep.
bit similar to that, yeah.
Wait, you see, they're all over Spock, and
Yep.
people are selling them, and they've bought them and not used them, and then they're advertising them as paintball masks.
Yeah. Well, that's because somebody's bought it who doesn't know any better. But when it's actually coming from a shop, though, that's the thing. And I think somebody posted in the chat earlier on. A lot of these sort of masks do come from places like China, where obviously their standards for safety equipment aren't necessarily the same as what ours would be. So these masks are in some cases they probably just don't care. Obviously, if they get a sale, that's all they're interested in. But then it gets over here, somebody takes it to a site, and they either get refused or they take it out, and it gets shot.
I don't think any site. If it's a rental based site such as Delta Force, they'll be like, you use our masks because that's the insurance policy, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Unless obviously
you sign waivers and all that sort of stuff.
Well, maybe that, but as long as they know it's a certified for paintball use one,
yeah.
And then any paintballer run site should know the same crack as well.
You say that, but I've seen it happen. I have actually seen people play big games with airsoft masks on.
What?
There was one game in particular that always sticks in my mind. It was by an event organizer who doesn't actually host events anymore. And the thing is, with the number of players going out in field, I can see how easy I can see it being something that isn't picked up on. But the player was wearing a mesh mouth guard, you know, like what a lot of airsofters do play with, which I know that there is other paintballers who use those, and with those, I'm kind of the opinion of, if you want to use a mesh mouth guard, do so at your own risk. That's it's potentially your teeth. Paintballers in the very early days didn't even use mouth guards, so I don't have as much of a problem with that. But he was using just like the little ballistic goggles, and that was all the guy had on, and was out in the game zone with those on. Hello there, Colin.
Oh, God, they'll let anybody on here.
It's the big baldy bambino.
So yes, Colin, how were your taco fajitas?
They were amazing.
And for all the
Fantastic.
Southerners listening, he said his food was lovely.
What you on about? Colin is a Southerner.
Amazeballs.
Well, he's a Yorkshireman, isn't he?
Yeah.
Wait for the bite.
How am I a Yorkshireman?
Yeah,
I just
closer
like
to
Liverpool
York than we
Vine.
are.
I'm a Yorkshireman from
Yeah, close enough.
Nottinghamshire, am I?
Yeah, close
As far
enough.
as we're concerned, mate, you're a Cockney.
I'm a Yorkshireman from Nottinghamshire that lives in Lincolnshire.
You're a sausage muncher.
Who plays for the Scottish Warriors?
Yeah.
Um,
I'm multi-county, count, yeah.
You're just confused, aren't you, Colin?
Yeah, I'm not sure where I want to come from. Gassy, Colin may want to be a Yorkshireman. Well, according to Yorkshireman, everyone wants to be a Yorkshireman.
Yep. It's God's own country until they come to
No, that's County Durham.
until they come to Northumberland, and then they see what real God's country is.
Well, if to be fair, I mean, I think Lincolnshire is God's pancake oven because it's that damn flat. It's God's pizza oven. It's so flat, it's unreal.
Why you got a mountain bike for them?
Yeah, how do you go?
Exactly.
Because I ride it elsewhere.
Riding over the speed bumps.
Downhill from the one side of a speed bump. Yeah.
Hey, we have to get a oxygen mask on to go over a speed bump around here.
You southern fairies.
Now, Dexter.
Christian Messon says that maybe Colin should play for the Yorkshire Bands.
No.
But he also says
Player.
And another.
he also
this
says
is about the fifth team I've been told I should play for.
well, that just means that you're in high demand, doesn't it? Christian Messon also says over here in Germany there was some Scott Mask copies floating around for some time, mostly advertised for airsoft, but still had the word paintball in it. So some of them were seen on fields. Now, that's basically the same problem that we're having with the FMA A1 masks now, which are rip-offs of the Dye i4. Thankfully, Scott masks themselves are quite rare to be seen on fields now anyway. I mean, I can't remember ever actually seeing a Scott mask on field because they were before my time, and they're just not really seen anymore. But I understand in some areas that they might be prevalent, but they still do look close enough to a paintball mask that most people aren't going to think that much if you see somebody with a Scott clone going out, especially if you're an older school baller and maybe see one on field. However, what I would say with that, like you see one, you're more likely, if you do know what they are, you're more likely to think, hang on, that looks brand new. Why is somebody walking out on field with what appears to be a brand new Scott mask? And there was also the fact that a lot of them came with like the big sort of Scott straps on them and stuff like that. Like,
I'm just laughing at what Richie Wong's put. You never see Colin and Connor McLeod in the same room.
I like what Paul said. I'm a flatlander and proud of it. Get a nosebleed going up the stairs.
It's why you actually like
to be
mountain
fair,
biking, Colin.
To be fair, I do actually live on the only hill in Lincolnshire. The one that Lincoln's built on.
Ah, right. Is that actually why you've getting yourself a mountain bike then? No. So you just like set off from home and just like go downhill to work.
To be fair, there's I have
free travel
anywhere else and just call it a mountain.
it is downhill to work, but there's
It's
a lot
uphill
of
back.
uphill as well on the way to. No, there's a lot of uphill on the way to work as well. There seems to be
Colin,
like a steady long incline followed by a sharp steep descent, and then another long shallow incline followed by another sharp steep descent.
Colin, I think someone's telling porkies here because how can there only be one hill in Lincoln if you then have to ride down it to go to work, and then you've got to ride uphill to go back into work.
Because you ride along the side of the hill.
And then you've got to ride back up.
There's a ridge that runs along through the middle of Lincoln.
Yeah.
And you sort of, where I am, you sort of ride along it down a bit, along it down a bit, along it down a bit.
And then back up.
Radio.
Aye. Christian Messon says one of you bruised his finger though.
I think that's the answer of Gassy, because Gassy was saying that the game at the GCC against the Yorkshire Bants was really good.
There you go. Paul said it's a lumpy hill.
Yeah, it's a lumpy hill. But it's a lumpy hill, not lots of little hills though.
No, a lumpy hill can be one hill. It's just with little bits of lumps in it.
Yeah.
Trust me, come to mine and come on my daily commute, and you'll see what I mean.
Colin, you've seen my daily commute. It's like an 18-mile ride.
That's what I mean. Come to mine and come on my daily commute, and you'll see what I mean about it being uphill and then downhill, then uphill and downhill. It's one of those. The uphill bits are one of those ones where when you're in the car, you don't even realise it's not flat. But when you're on a bike, my God, do you notice it?
Yeah, it's slow and
Colin's
steady increment.
in because you can't get a word in edgeways.
What?
As I was trying to say before we got on to Motocross Weekly.
Right. Yep. Come on.
Christian mentioned the Yorkshire Bants, and Gassy said, yes, that was one of the best games at the GCC. And that's why he mentioned about bruising his fingers.
Yeah, that was well. I'm guessing it was the last game of the day that Gassy's on about. You know, on the Sunday, which it was a brilliant game. That I can't believe we both managed to have players get past each other without even seeing each other on that woodland field.
So was it a bit of a Benny Hill moment, was it?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes and no. They had our flag heading back to their base. We had vice versa.
Yeah.
And we had more players than them. They only had 2.
Yeah.
But they thought they took us all out, and we thought we took all them out until they met in the middle.
Yeah.
And then the Bants managed to take. They were outnumbered. They managed to take all of our players.
Yeah.
So you decided you wanted to play the field the wrong way around.
Yes,
Well,
basically.
Colin, depending on what side of the field you went down, it was all rhododendron bushes, so it was really thick, so you could literally pass each other and not realise.
Yeah.
It wasn't like on the concept field, then it wouldn't have happened.
Oh, that still happened on the concept field, just not with us.
Yeah, thankfully not with us. That was it the Sandbaggers against the Turks?
It might have been, but
that
was still that was still one of the best moves I've seen in a paintball game in years. I mean, I can't believe that. Seeing that video, I've got no idea who the players were, but just seeing him run up to the guy, literally stop beside him, realise his gun isn't working, and just be like,
Doesn't even shoot him and then runs past another guy with the other booker as well.
yeah. And it's just like, oh, well, my gun's not working. I'll just see if I can get the flag. So he just sets off running, and nobody gets him.
It was quite funny.
Yeah.
Talking to the GCC, what's going to happen if Painfest's not on? Is it going to be run as a separate event? Is it not going to happen?
I think GCC will still happen, and I think it'll be run.
Is Nikki still in? Is Nikki still in the chat? We might be able to answer that question.
I can't get YouTube to work on my Mac for some reason, and if I put it on my phone, I get feedback.
Yeah.
You posh git with the Mac.
But yeah. So if Nick is still in the chat, that would be interesting to get his sort of take on things there. But yeah. So I personally, I still think that the GCC will go ahead next year. I mean, I really hope that it does. But the GCC was basically, it was stocked. You know, it was heaving at last year's game. If it hadn't been for the weather,
this year's
that event. Well, sorry, yeah, this year's. It was, if it hadn't been for the weather, that event was perfect for going and playing. The only thing I would like to see is I would love if we could have had more games, but I know that if I have more games means having extra fields, and then having more refs as well, which maybe that is something that Nick will be looking at in the future, but. I understand it's more money going out, it's more fields being built, it's more refs on field, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, that event to me was just brilliant. I don't even know.
I've got a feeling.
That tonight's gonna be no, go on.
if it doesn't remain at the Paintfest site, then there is potential that it could end up at Skirmish, Nottingham.
I think
because
if
Nottingham, yeah, because obviously they've got the hyperball field set up there.
Yeah.
And
I'd be happy with that.
Of course you would be. But that's
yeah, but to be fair, what's closer for you, Nottingham or Birmingham?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, well, it wasn't really that much different, though, was it?
Well,
It's easier to get to than Birmingham.
The thing
I
is,
know Mayhem's been hinting of a 10-man tournament.
it looks to me as if Nick is actually. I mean, I might be getting this wrong, but it looks to me like Nick is kind of building a series, which I think is fantastic, and I'm more than happy for to go down and take part in as much of that as I can possibly play, because I love tournament paintball and I wish I could play more of it, but I don't have the money to go down and play tournament events anymore. I don't have the time. But
You definitely won't have soon.
yeah, that's very true, isn't it?
Yeah, time over money.
Yeah. But yeah, it does seem like Nick is building a sort of a series with this, and I think that is absolutely fantastic, and I really want to go out and play more. But I think there'll still be an event held at NPF Bassett's Pool, and I think that it'll be. I could see Mayhem getting on board with it. I could see Nottingham getting a skirmish, Nottingham getting on board with it, and if NPF can get on board with it as well, I mean that's 3 locations where they could run an event, and then move it from site to site to site. So it's
like a Super 6 version of a 10-man series.
Yeah. I mean, if you think it would kind of the way I see it in my head, it would kind of be a bit along the lines of like NXL, you know, where they have or for those older school players, possibly things like Millennium, where you know you've got an event held in London, you've got an event held in Paris, you've got an event held wherever else. Yeah, I could see it being a bit like that, except for just within the country. And I would love to see Nick be able to add more events to that. So, you know, maybe it's every 2 months there'll be a site somewhere in the country that all of these players get together, travel to, have that bit tournament, and then they move on to go to another site, and then they go to another site. And if it's the concept fields and hyperball fields and like mounds fields and stuff like that, if they can leave those sites up all year round and turn them into actual game zones, as opposed to just being something that's put to one side and left not bothered with until the next tournament, if they could use those sites, it means that the site isn't wasting money on having a field that's just sitting around doing nothing. Like that some sites might do if it's a hyperball, not a hyperball, a sub-air field. With sub-air field, you've got to take it down, put it away, get it out, put it up. It's all that extra time. But things like hyperball fields, where yes,
most sites would do it that way anyway. I've been to a few where they don't.
Yes,
They just
true.
leave
But
them
then,
out and
but generally those bunkers, they don't last a long time. They get damaged, and sometimes they'll get nicked, depending on if they've got anything in them to keep them held in place or not.
I don't want to be the downer here, but they just can't get the numbers. It's a lovely idea, but they're struggling like hell to get numbers. They struggled to get the full amount to play the GCC. Hopefully, we were thinking that it might be the spark that we needed for a better, like, more. But yeah, they didn't get the full amount there. So all these ideas, I just can't see it happening. They just can't get the numbers.
What on earth is that noise?
is that Albert's rat wailing?
No, sorry, somebody left the kitchen door open, and that was the. Right, well, what I was saying was the struggle to get the numbers. I honestly can't say it would be brilliant. I would love it to happen. But
do you not think that's maybe a little bit along the lines of...
There you go.
Whoa.
Like what Gassy said, I think 4 events a year would be enough events for people. People then can afford to play but not miss other events that they want to do.
Yeah.
4 a year I think would be ideal for 90% of people.
You know what it is? Like, with 4 events a year, you could probably split those out over... Well, like over 8 months, and then leave the other 4 months over that sort of Christmas period where people are saving money up, and then they maybe haven't got money after Christmas. You know, basically the down season. If that could be done, then that probably would work quite really well. I would think that would work, and of course that would tie in with the 4 events a year. I mean, I would just say like 5 as an idea, roughly. You know, like 1 every 2 months sort of thing. But yeah.
I'd love to see a similar sort of event at Combat Zone to draw people into the site, but I don't think you could run it somewhere like that. You could get a woodland field easy, but it's what do you do for like a concept or a hyperball or anything like that?
Is it the church field
in the centre?
Yeah, it's not far away from what.
Not.
I mean, it's a bit small for 10 man though.
I don't think it is, Colin. You'd be surprised when we were playing the 10-man the 10-man concept field. It wasn't a huge field. It's probably about the same sort of size as that as the church field. I mean, yes, you maybe have to put up a little some tapings, like, you know, you have to take some boundary tape and stuff. I would maybe say close off the church so you couldn't actually access the church.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the Iron Man Classic. That's what they were doing. They had buildings, but they closed the buildings off, so you could use them as a bunker, but you couldn't physically get inside.
Yeah,
I suppose it'd be quite interesting to do that, or for the woodland field, to use the hillbilly house at the top end in a similar fashion, where you can't go in the building or the compound, but you can use it as a bunker to stand behind, because that's got all the rhododendrons down. That would be a proper woodland field.
Yeah. Might just work.
TPB.
10-man team.
What's TPB?
Technical problem broadcast, Colin. You're part of it.
Yeah, but there's only 4 of us.
Yeah, but there's like 10 people watching.
And technically, us 4 are all on Wars Ball Time.
True. Yeah. Chris Varney says no more walk-ons at YPC. They've only got the 1989 club.
Yes, I noticed that today.
Yes.
Due to dwindling numbers.
Gus is hit the nail on the head there. Most of the regulars are Grizzlies.
Yes.
What is the 1989 club?
The 1989 Club is basically a limited paint game, Chan. If you want to use something like an Electro or an old school marker, so like say like a Tipman or something like that. If you want to use like a Tipman, then it would be a 50-round tack cap. If it's say like an Ego or something like that, then it's a 50-round hopper. Anything smaller than that. So if you want to play stock class, if you want to use pistols, if you want to use magfed, you can do all that sort of stuff. It started off going back a fair few years now, where it was put on. Did you ever play the Beirut game zone?
No.
Right, it was pretty much straight off the safe zone. You go out where the airfield stations are, you turn left, and where the shooting range is.
So you're on a 50. So is it a 50-round hopper if you're on a normal
Any gun.
pump?
Yeah.
Any gun.
Yeah.
Right.
You can go on with an Ego as long as you've got a 50-round hopper, and you're
Yeah.
only allowed to carry so many pods. I think it's 2.
Unless it's 50-round pot.
I don't know what the pods was, but I do know it has to be 50-round hoppers. They'll allow any marker on the field, but with a 50-round hopper.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's quite a good concept. It sounds like a really fun kind of game, that, actually.
Well, that's the thing. It is actually the 1989 Club, as I understand it, is actually very popular because it allows those players with things like pistols and stuff.
What are you allowed to carry pod-wise?
2, but like I say, I can't remember what size pods.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not
assume
sure.
they'd have to be 50-round pods because you cannot. What's the point in carrying a 150-round pod that you can only get a third of it into a popper?
Well,
I just know that
you could just use one to fill
he
up.
sells the 50-round hoppers, so if you haven't got one, he sells the 50-round hoppers, and it's 2 pods of paint. When I actually went down to YPC, we actually agreed not to play it, so we played the normal one.
Yeah. But,
So what if I went with me pump and put a 50-round hopper on it and then put the tube from my max loader into it? Technically, I'm not carrying any pods.
But you are carrying it. The max loader would just be viewed as being a big hopper, basically. As Ben
You always
says,
get one, don't you? You always get one.
No, technically it wouldn't be feeding into the gun though. It'd be feeding into the hopper, so it's just self-reloading hopper.
Yeah, but that's just like most hoppers, isn't it? Really.
It has to be a gravity-fed 50-round hopper.
Oh, it has to be gravity-fed.
Well,
Gravity-fed.
If it was a tack cap, I'm sure they'd be fine with it. You having like a cyclone.
Yeah, they allow you to use tap caps. I'm on about if you're going out there with an Eagle or a Merlin or whatever.
Yeah.
They allow you to go on with any gun you like, but they sell the 50-round hoppers.
Yeah.
And they're the gravity-fed one.
But then for guns like the Merlin and most mech stuff, a gravity-fed hopper won't keep up with it.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
And
that's why it's 1989 Club, because it's before electro hoppers came in.
Basically, the people who played are mag-fed and pump players, but they don't want to ban anyone from playing, so they give the idea of the 50-round hopper, and then 9 times out of 10, whoever played with just the 50-round hopper the first time will come back with, say, a mag-fed or a pump gun next time.
Yeah, well, that was exactly it. It was created at the time when people were looking, when some people, it was created at the time when mag-fed was really kind of kicking off in a big way, and it was an alternative for, instead of people going, look, you can't come and play with us because your gun doesn't match ours, it was a way of saying, look, you can come and play with us, even though your gun doesn't look like ours, but there is going to be a handicap because of that. It was a way of trying to level the playing field for everyone.
What's the difference between just carrying 3 50-round pods and using your normal hopper?
Because you can fill the hopper full with the 3 pods in one go, and then just go out and blitz the field.
Yeah, and you've got an electrically fed hopper. The whole idea, it's got to be a gravity fed, so it's slowing the gun down.
Yeah. That's it. It's the idea of it. Reducing the amount of paint that's in the air to increase movement.
Yeah,
which I do believe does actually make a difference.
Idea of what magfed's like without having to buy a magfed.
Well, what we need a 3D printed PAL loader that's 50-round PAL loader.
Which one's the PAL loader?
The
One for
EMEC.
EMEC.
Oh, yes, yeah. Christ, I couldn't think that.
It's an agitated gravity hopper, but then you can have it as a 50 cal. Not 50 cal, sorry, a 50 round.
I've just
version
I've just
would
had
be
an
quite
interesting
cool.
idea.
Just ball a sock up and stick it in the front of
Yeah, but then you run the risk of the sock moving and causing a jam.
And believe me, it won't let you run with it. Not to start calling people, but I'm trying to be extremely politically correct here. But there was a reason why I didn't play the 1989 club. Myself and Gav, who were pros playing with pumps, played normal walk on. We didn't play the 1989.
Poor Albert's going to have a heart attack trying to contain himself.
Oh, damn it.
I have put it in our chat because I don't want to see it live over the air.
Right. I just had an exciting idea, but it doesn't work.
what?
Warp feed. 10 round tubes. Technically, it's not a hopper, and it's only
No,
being
it's
fed
not.
from 10 round tubes. But no, it doesn't fit.
Give me strength.
What was he trying to do?
Are you familiar with a warp feed, Colin?
Yes.
Well,
10 round
I was.
tubes.
I've
yeah.
literally just hit play on your stream and seen you trying it.
Doesn't work. It had it. No.
To be fair, how many balls would stay in the warp feed before they're actually in the gun?
Oh god, and the tube, like 20, 30.
It
depending
depends on how long the
you put
tube
them
is,
on
doesn't it?
Yeah. You've just got it wrapped around the barrel like about 15 times.
Yeah. The thing is, though, it would only feed a couple of balls from whatever was in the rotor bit, and then
So hang on.
that would be it.
What about mag-fed guns? Are they limited to how many mags they can carry on them?
I have no idea, but I would imagine it's probably around about the same amount of paint, just spread over mags as opposed to in hoppers.
Yeah. No, just all I'm thinking is a Q loader. It's technically a magazine.
Oh God, Chan! Oh, please don't! Oh Christ, we'll get the stream flamed. Oh.
What?
Just put it this way: if you haven't got a mag-fed gun, okay, you have to buy the hopper from Andy Sables and put it on your gun, and that's the only hopper you can use. End of. No warp feeds, no this, no that, no backpacks.
The thing is,
50 round hopper.
Could I take my own 50 round hop?
You see,
Yes,
to
you
me
can.
to me that's just a challenge. So I'm gonna get a hold of one of these 50-round hoppers and put electronics in it.
Well, Chan, I can. Do you want to make yourself an electronic 50-round hopper?
Get a Revy and cut the front off it.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and I will even give you a Revy, Chan.
Well, no, that means I still can't play the 1989 club
Why not?
because you just said it's got to be his hopper.
No, it doesn't
And
have
it's
to
got
be
to
his
have no.
hopper.
It's got to have no electronics in it.
It doesn't have to be a 50-round hopper. So it doesn't have to be his 50-round hopper. It just has to be a 50-round hopper. If you don't have a 50-round hopper, you can buy one off him.
But it's an electric one. Having a Revy with a nose cut off is still electric.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about making like a 50-round Winchester with some sort of feed system in it.
There's
So
not
still
enough room
like
inside of a Winchester for to have an agitated feed system in it.
Don't challenge me, Dexter.
People have tried, Chan. I mean, for years.
Yeah, that was why people actually did stuff like modifying Revies and things like that.
The nearest you can get is 100 rounds. They've got enough space to put like the internals of, say, like die rotor or a halo in them, but the 50s are just too small. People have tried.
But presumably they've only tried a handful of methods, not like.
Go on MacArthur Brown, mate. There's about, oh, God knows how many hundreds of pages of people's experiments with trying to get a 50-round force fed.
Hey, that'd be another way of doing it. That Paul's just said he's going to air feed it.
That
Put
could
cyclone on the
work, yeah.
side of it.
Exactly, it's what I'm talking about. It's been
Yeah,
fried.
there we go. And
certain
Paul, that's
way,
what I
but
was
not-
thinking. The wind-up hopper. You know, that cranky one. The clockwork one,
not
yeah.
that.
Pete Bosnia's got one of them.
Yeah, what happened to that? That windy up thing?
Mm-hmm. No
I
idea.
think people got fed up. I think people got fed up of it going when you ran out of paint. Losing all
it's a
wind.
It's a great way of letting everyone on field know that you're out of paint, isn't it?
I mean, rotors are bad, but that was just ridiculous.
Yeah. Christian Messon says, isn't there a hotbar with a mechanism in it without batteries? Yes, Christian, there is two that I'm aware of. There is the PAL
the one you
loader
just
system.
mentioned.
Yep, there's the PAL loader system, and there's also the mechanical one that you actually you wind up in its clockwork. I suppose other than that, you could class the Primo. It's not
The
really.
feed shelf.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is. It is better than a grav fed, but it is.
it
it
is
is a
still a
grav-fed.
grav fed. Yeah, it's a grav fed that's just happens to be better than most grav feds.
I wonder if
I've
you let
actually
you
got
use one of
one.
those.
It's not 50 round though, is
No,
it?
not for no. Oh well, I'll have to just design one and 3D print it.
Just create a Winchester.
No, it's just a Winchester with a shelf in.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Very,
assuming that they would
very
actually look
simple.
in your hopper. But I kind of wonder if they would actually allow us to use my Pico, because is that actually anything that says that it has to be a gravity fed 50 round hopper?
Pico's more than 50 round though.
It's
isn't
not
it?
if you're using a speed feed. If you're using a speed feed, you cannot get more than like 50 rounds in unless you literally hand feed them.
Yeah,
And
especially
you've got to
with,
feed them under the speed feed for to get them in.
especially with Dexter's saggy reverse prolapse speed feed he's got on it.
Hey,
I wonder
those
what the
vir-
hell you were on about there when you're
Those virtue
saggy
feeds.
prolapse.
Those virtue speed feeds were notorious for prolapsing, but it does still keep painting mostly.
It does still keep painting mostly. So that's a no. It doesn't.
I've actually got that
I
reasonably
was-
close by as well.
So it's a
I was
prolapse that lets the balls in but not out. Why?
It's
I was
not
going to
that
mention
bad.
actually. I saw they look like the knockoff of them Exalt Universal Mount speed feeds that clamp around the
Winding up your vibrator there, Dex.
It's me, Pico. But yeah, that is basically what that is. It's one of the clamp round ones that
yeah, but they had the Exalt, like the 6-finger green spine ones.
you mean like that?
I have no idea what you just shown me. I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront right now.
Yeah, that is the Virtue speed feed. That is God knows how old, and I think I have another one of those somewhere. And the Exalt speed feed for the rotor, which that must be that speed
Oh
feed
yes,
is
yes,
probably
like the one for your rotor, but
Yeah.
it's got the external lock-on clamp.
Yeah. That speed feed is probably around about 8-year-old. The one that's on my rotor and is still in perfect condition. Or mostly nearly perfect condition anyway. I think that tooth there is a little bit sort of wobbly, or wobblier than the rest. But other than that, that is in fantastic condition. The one that is in my the one that's in my Pico, not so much. It's a little bit more saggy, but it's not that bad really.
The mechanical marker we were on about is made by VMech and it's the M1.
Yeah. The V-neck M1.
Yeah, that is the mechanical winding up.
Paintball mag. That's a fleshlight.
But this one,
I can't believe that they were £40.
anything is a flashlight if you're brave enough.
VMech M1.
Oh, for God's sake.
I missed that. I was actually talking about paintball.
Damn, that. I don't understand what the crack is with the warp feeds. seems like nothing but a Revy actually fits in this thing.
It's because they're crap.
No, they're not. The warp feed was revolutionary. Look at it.
And why
It's a massive chunk of plastic and mechanics that you stick on your marker to put your massive chunk of plastic and mechanics in, that then feeds the balls upwards.
If they were revolutionary, why
Yes.
are we not all using them now? Because they're crap.
No, they're not crap.
If they were revolutionary, why are we not all using them now?
Because
I'll
the paintball,
put it
the
out there.
paintball Illuminati turned people against Tom K.
Also, just a massive conspiracy.
Yes, it was a conspiracy.
No, the crap.
Just you wait until I have this on something and I'm using it and how awesome it is.
breaks, and you'll end up not being able to use your gun.
When it breaks, I'll have a spare one.
It's crap.
No, because what I'll do is, if it breaks, then I'll just remove the feed bit and stick the hopper straight into the feed neck on the gun.
So you play the gun the way it's supposed to be played.
Basically, yeah.
To be honest,
That's
I'd
the
love to have
plan.
a go with a gun with a warp feed on it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the warp feed was basically created so that you took the hopper away from the top of the marker, which is actually a reasonable sort of thing to desire because it is a big target. Unfortunately, if you're playing paintball properly, that hopper will be pretty much where your head is going to be anyway. So when you move, that hopper should be wherever you are. Now, obviously, I'm
No,
not.
my problem is the hopper's going to be square in front of my face anyway. being
That's exactly my
left-handed.
point. Well, no, because Colin,
So
you
it
can put
actually
the warp
reduced-
feed. You can put the warp feed on the right or left side. It doesn't actually matter.
Yeah, but the beauty of doing it that way is you're not actually presenting any more of a target than you normally would, because
Well,
you're either
that's-
going to
yeah.
see the hopper or your face.
That's
Now,
exactly
that's
that's
your
exactly what I
balls
was going to
going.
say. If you're using a warp feed, technically all you're doing is removing the hopper and then exposing your face. It's the same size target, or should pretty much be the same size target. However, I suppose
Well, the
that...
big hopper, if it's the same size target as Colin's bombs.
No,
I
but
don't know, like, because there is some players that can shoot down the inside of a marker without actually exposing their face out of the bunker.
All I heard there was exposed.
wouldn't that be blind firing?
You exposed yourself like
No,
Jack.
no, not blind firing. The sighting down the inside of the barrel rather than the outside.
But that's the thing.
All I
That's what
heard
I'm
was
saying,
you've been
Chad.
exposing yourself, Chan.
If you're shooting down the inside of the marker, that your hopper should basically be like the back where, like, if you take the rotor for example, the button on your rotor should pretty much be just around about like a little bit above your eye level, so that you're looking pretty much underneath the marker and aiming down the barrel there. So the hopper is about where your forehead should be.
Yeah, but you're missing what I'm saying. When you say if you're shooting off the right side of a bunker and you've got your marker in your right hand and it's canted over to the left and you're looking down the side of the barrel, the right hand side of the marker.
But then you're exposed to your
Some
elbow.
players, no, because it would be tucked in.
But if you've got your elbow tucked in, you're leaning your body out that way. So you're then exposed. Your head's going to be behind your hopper. There's two ways that people lean out and shoot from the end of the bunker.
What Chan is trying to say is if you lean out the right hand side of a bunker, all that you will see when you're looking at the bunker is the barrel, because they're sighting on the side of the gun nearest the bunker,
But you can't.
not the side of the
Colin.
gun that's
At
exposed.
least somebody understands it.
No,
There's quite a few Tony players do it now.
But it's I would have to see what you're trying to
It's
describe here,
hard.
because it's literally impossible to only show your barrel, because the marker is on a pivot. It's like if you lean your hopper in, then you're going to be exposing your tank and the grip and everything. But if you have your tank and everything in and lean out with your hopper, then you're exposing your hopper and everything above the barrel.
I'm by no means saying it's easy. There's not many players that can do it. But for God's sake, Albert.
Well, that's the thing. I'm saying it's not that it's not easy. It's that it's impossible. You you can't.
But it's not impossible because there's players that do it and they do it very well.
But they can't do it. It's literally impossible to only show your barrel unless you're literally poking the barrel out from behind the bunker sideways. It's that if you're leaning out now, I'm presuming that you're aiming down the barrel. If you're aiming down the barrel, if you're aiming down the barrel and you lean out one way, so if you lean out with like your elbow first, then keep your hopper hidden away, because you've got to expose your head for to be able to aim down the sides to aim where you're shooting. I think I'm going to need a demonstration, Chan.
I will do a demonstration.
Champion. That's it. What Christian's saying there. If your hopper is on top of your marker, either your hopper or your bottle would shoot out the side of the bunker. It's like. But Gassy says if you have the warp feed on the left, great for shooting out the right side of the right side, but shit for shooting out the left. Oh yeah, yeah, like I totally get that. But the warp feed, it wasn't designed for shooting. If you've got it on the left hand side of your marker, so you're shooting right handed, you weren't supposed to swap hands with it. You are supposed to, basically, according to Tom K, you're supposed to basically lean out the left hand side. One side of them. No, you're supposed to be able to shoot out either side, but you're supposed to basically lean over to the left and shoot at the left hand side of the bunker. So your hopper would pretty much be covered by your left arm as you're leaning out. But I'm interested in playing with one just for the fun of it. It just means that's something else I've got to put batteries in.
The ultimate thing to do with a warp feed would be to feed it into the bottom of a mag-fed gun.
Yeah, well, it's basically what the max loader is to an extent. And obviously, I suppose the max loader feeds from the top, doesn't it? But I think there has been, in fact, there's been people have done it with Q loaders, where they've used Q loaders to feed the bottom like up through mag wells.
Yeah, and then when you do expose the pop out, it doesn't expose anything.
Mm-hmm. Gassy, yeah, basically. I mean, at the time, I suppose the warp feeds were kind of created at a time when shooting with both hands wasn't such a big deal. But as well as that, it was kind of... there is the argument to be made of if you have something that means that you don't have to swap hands, well, it doesn't matter if you can or can't swap hands. It was only supposed to be shot using your dominant hand. Yeah, like Paul just said there, shooting with both hands wasn't a thing when it was brought out. And the warp feed was also brought out when doing things like fanning a trigger was actually a viable means of producing a high rate of fire, as opposed to, warping a trigger. Yeah, well, I mean, it is on a mechanical Chan, but we now have
saying that you can fan and you can walk an EMEC, so.
Well, that's it. I mean, you can walk an EMEC if you've got strong fingers like you have.
Well, skinny is the very Jack Skeleton-esque fingers.
Yeah.
Try and jam two fingers in a single trigger frame.
Thing is, I can walk a single trigger frame if it's got a nice light trigger frame. Like, is it the MR? What's it? M70R?
M170R.
Yeah, like the some of the high end mechanical. I think it was the CVO that I tried. Was it the CVO that's mechanical? Where I tried
to try a CVO.
It's Colin's birthday game. It was Dave Brute Reeds. I had to go with that, and yeah, that is actually walkable. It's a single trigger frame on a mechanical, but yeah. I can't walk an EMEC trigger. I just kind of do it. But I can definitely fan it with a high rate of fire.
Yeah, Chan could nearly walk my eye on.
So
And
I'm
so
really
will
hoping
mine.
mine will be walkable.
Oh, it should be.
Nice.
And
Colin,
then
are
Chan
you
can
still
get hold of mine,
for
and
District 23?
Chan can get hold of my eye on and make it better.
Colin, are you still on about
Wait,
coming
I've,
to 23?
I am possibly talking about going to District 23, but it will be up on the day and back on the day.
Yeah, that's
oh,
fair enough. It would have been nice.
Chan's disappointed that I'm not going to be sharing his bed with him.
Chance disappointed when anybody won't share his bed with him.
yeah. I'm not fussy.
The warp feed really, it doesn't have a very deep feed neck on it.
Are
Sorry?
you still going on about that bloody
Yes.
war?
I'm just trying different things. Like 50-round hopper on a warp feed is fantastic.
You'll be sticking something else in it soon, I bet.
I was gonna say Albert's mind just literally went exactly where mine went.
I'm scared that it would rip the end off.
I was sleeping in the spare bedroom tonight, Pet.
it is quite noisy though, but in fact, Paul, you might know this. Does the warp feed actually shut off once you put paint through it? So I tried putting batteries in, and it just didn't stop. It doesn't seem to actually turn off and on unless you take the batteries out.
I'm pretty sure they're not got switches on.
It has got a switch on it. The switch is right there, but
Right.
this one
But it
doesn't turn
doesn't-
off. Yeah.
Someone might have had it apart and rewired it.
Maybe. Either way, I mean, as long as it doesn't actually burst balls, then I'm fine just playing with it as it is. At least I'm hoping so, anyway. Christine Messon, the
I'll
warp...
tell you what. Tell you what, a warp feed would be fantastic for me to put on the end of me max loader.
Why?
Would be,
Your max loader basically is a warp feed. You just carry it on your back.
yeah, but occasionally when you shooting with the max loader, you do get like a slight delay on some of the balls coming through.
Yeah.
So having that extra bit of force feed at the feed neck end would just help. That's why the defenders work so well with them, or anything that runs with a rip clip or the Tipman Cyclone feed system.
Yeah.
Because you're feeding into another feed system. You do occasionally miss shots, or if you're trying to walk and ramp,
Yeah.
you'll hear a ramp going slightly up and down because it's not quite feeding constant.
Chan, can I just point out though that our homemade max loader didn't do that.
No, but your homemade max loader, you had to hold your gun below your crotch.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Because it was the base of a rotor wedged in the bottom of a tidy box.
It wasn't a tidy box. It was a water bottle.
Precisely.
But it worked.
Yeah,
And if we'd had a second
worked.
rotor to feed it, it could have worked even better.
And it wasn't £500.
Yeah. It literally cost us nothing. It cost us the rotor that we already had. And a little bit of DIY.
Does anybody else think that the game that Martello is hinting on looks very interesting?
Yes.
But let me just say, Ben Rex has just made me laugh at that. I'm just reminded of the "My Rotor feeds my rotor" stacked meme.
Yeah. Well, that's basically what the max loader is, isn't it? It's a rotor feeding a gun.
Yeah, because it's got two feeds. It's got one to feed the balls up to the top of it, and then one to feed it to the gun. But they're both connected. And for anyone out there who's looking for a max loader, I absolutely love mine, but I would not recommend running fragile paint through it.
Yeah, that's probably not a good idea.
Because otherwise, you just end up with a big blender.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, running about with it on, you probably break the balls before they've even made it out of the feed tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gentle
only-
on paint. Neither is running with it.
Hmm. You see, I think
Be
that's the
alright,
problem
I
with a lot of
suppose, if you're like a gunner in a tank.
Yeah, but if you're a
You're
gunner in
just
a tank,
stationary.
then you just basically put a big pot of paint in front of you, don't you? And then just run a rotor, like like the paint storage pots. Just mount a rotor base to one of those.
But I don't know if you might have been one of Tech PB's video. The Engler,
Yes.
Tipman A5 MG42.
Yeah.
The cyclone feeds on the A5s fit. There's quite a few of them. The paintball caddies
Yeah.
that fit straight into the things, and they're just 1,000 round things straight on there.
The problem
Well,
is with
Max
those.
Loader do an adapter from the standard feed neck to A5 Cyclone and Rip Clip, specifically for the reason of putting it onto those sorts of guns. So you imagine being with an MG42 with a Max Loader on your back. That looked awesome.
You see, I've wanted to do like a walking tank sort of thing for a while now. And I did think about the idea of seeing if North versus South would actually let you play a walking tank and just have something like a max
rather than
loader.
rather than a wheeled tank.
Yes.
Just a one-man tank.
I'm thinking basically just juggernaut it. I know Ben's done that at North versus South. Ben Rex did that at North versus South a few years ago. But I'm thinking the whole sort of juggernaut juggernaut suit, mask on and masks basically for they absorb some of the shots.
You're not big enough to play a juggernaut though.
A juggernaut suit.
Yes.
Yes.
Does this
basically
have a hood?
The suit has a hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically a bomb disposal suit, isn't it?
Yeah, basically, yeah. But I was actually talking to Ben about this. I think it was at Heroes. It's not what he used. Wasn't bomb disposal. It was some kind of that sort of armor type thing. But basically, it gives the same sort of effect. But then to just do the sort of fire from the hip and just walk around the game zone, just if people shoot at you, just
with
take
a massive gun.
Yes, that's it. Proper full-on Gatling gun. Did any of you play the original original Metal Gear Solid?
No.
Right.
Yeah, when you climb in a cardboard box.
Did anyone play the GTA 5 single player?
No.
Oh.
I'm just seeing if I can pull
There's
it
a
up
heist in that when you break out of a bank and you're all in juggernaut suits with miniguns.
Right. I'm thinking. Pull this up here. Right then. Go on to share screen, and this is what I'm basically thinking. Except for imagine Armored as well. You should actually see that through on the live stream in a little while. But yeah. That's pretty much just what I'm thinking. Just the massive gun and to just walk around the game zone, just taking the hits, just laying paint down. But you'd probably need a paint sponsor for the weekend.
I've got a better one for you, Dex.
What's that?
And it's all quiet. What's this quiet night? As I was saying,
Yeah. Go on, Albert.
before we all jump back off again,
Mhm.
Martello's game that he's running in
Yep.
September 2020, that looks really interesting. I'd like to know where that is, because he's a bit cryptic,
Yeah.
putting those who know. Yeah, we are going back. I'm wondering if that's where they held Call of Duty 3.
Well, it's what to me it's one of two places. It's either the Operation Medusa Island in Greece, or the Call of Duty Island in
Croatia.
Croatia.
Thing is,
Which either way, they're not far apart.
Yeah.
Not on a map, anyway.
Well, what I'm kind of wondering, if you remember correctly, the Call of Duty the Call of Duty place in Croatia, I don't know if the Medusa Island has them, but in Croatia, the island, they did actually have submarine bays. So if you have a look on the map, you might be able to see if there's anything that jumps out as a submarine bay.
Yeah, it was a Nazi submarine, a
Ah.
secret submarine pen.
Yeah. Martello says it's not Medusa.
Is it Crazy 81?
Bloody hell! Right, Martello may come back for an answer for that in a few minutes' time because the Vulcan Raven image has literally just popped up on screen.
The what?
Yeah, I am live for that. You know, I was talking about is he doing like a cosplay sort of thing? Oh no, it's because I'm behind the times on my stream on this end. That's why. Right, but yeah, yeah. Yeah.
What?
It turned. I was actually behind on my end of the stream here.
Oh, come on, Dex.
Hey, it said that I was live. But
You were
yes.
live 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a bit behind, like, wasn't it? But yeah, so Martello, as Colin says there, was the Crazy 81?
Yeah, Call of Duty 3.
Right, he says it is a return to the Crazy 81 location. Very nice.
Oh,
Also, I was right.
I've only ever heard good things about that place, apart from the heat.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I ever heard bad about it was too hot.
Yeah. And Ghost says he's in the process of sending a location to OMG because he's been scouting for a while. Good luck, and I hope that they take it on if it's a good site. But yeah, Martello, that I remember that being a big one for the Call of Duty series, the island. We were actually talking about it earlier on today because I thought the you don't know man, you weren't there thing came from the Battle of Britain game, but I think it was Colin that mentioned that it was the you don't know you weren't there thing was actually from original Call of Duty, wasn't it?
It was me.
Was it you, Albert? Sorry.
I posted up the badge, Crazy 81. You don't know, man, you weren't there.
Yeah.
I think that what you got mixed up was the Battle of Britain. There was a badge kicking around saying, I survived the Battle of Britain because of that tornado thing that ripped through it.
Yeah.
So there was loads of people with that badge as well.
The monsoon.
Yeah.
That
was really bad weather.
The one thing I will never forget about that weekend is the fact that Gomi floated out of his tent on his mate's airbed that he'd borrowed.
Yeah. You see,
of all the people that would happen to, it had to be Gomi.
See, there was a whole load of us from Nest, which I'm not even sure if we were Nest at the time, but yeah, there was a whole load of us. We drove all the way down. We got there. I think we had a bit of talk to people on the Saturday. Went back. We decided, hang on, it's been raining all day. It's probably going to be raining tomorrow. We'll go buy a gazebo from like the local Asda. So we bought a gazebo and then we got back to the hotel and thought, we've got no idea how to put this up, so we should probably test it beforehand. So we put the gazebo up in the hotel room. Then took it down. Got the site the next morning and they went, it's cancelled. Great.
Yeah, it was a long way to go for a Chinese. That
yeah.
Because that was all I did.
Yeah, well, that was it.
Down.
We basically sat and drank in a hotel room, so, you know.
I went down. I met up with... went to site.
Yeah.
So there was supposed to be a food challenge on that I'd been signed up for.
Of course. You and food go
that
hand in
never
hand.
happened. That never happened because of the weather. So I was like, kind of right. We need food, and we found an all-you-can-eat Chinese local.
Yeah.
So it was
You had your own food challenge.
Well, at the time I was solo.
Mm.
I managed to meet up with Tones from the Warriors because I was collecting my first cyborg that I'd bought off Willie.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Chinese on the Saturday night. There was the Renegade Rebels
Yeah.
and Dog Soldiers, I think, Badmoji.
Mm-hmm.
A few, I think a few of the at the time Shoreline Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
We had our all-you-can-eat Chinese. Went back to hotel, went to bed, got up in the morning, went to site. Oh, it's been cancelled. Went home.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I think I actually sent you the photo of it's me and Rich, and I'm not sure who else. I'm not sure if it's actually one of the Scott, no, it's not the Scottish Warriors, one of the Shoreline Rangers. But there's the three of us standing out in the open, all wearing flat caps, in the lashing down rain, because we thought, you know what it is, we're here, we'll help pack up. So they would be it basically like called arms of like, look, anyone that's hanging around, can you just come and help us pack up for the day? So yeah, there was a whole load of players went along, and yeah, we were involved in that. And that was about the most action that we had all weekend. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, didn't play that game.
Mm.
Yeah, to answer Chris.
Nobody did, Albert.
No.
To answer Chris Varney, I can only hope so, because Lincoln is an absolutely fantastic site, and it is sorely suffering with lack of numbers, which hasn't been helped by most of the walk-ons being either the weekend after or the same weekend as big events.
Well,
I think it's a national thing, Colin, because YPC is struggling, BZ is struggling. It's not just
the only real
everywhere.
success. I think the only real successful walk-on series, apart from Diamond Wars, is the Skirmish Nottingham.
I was going to say PPK.
PPK as well.
Mm-hmm. But you see, I believe
PPK. I've been told he's good with his media. You know, be polite.
Well, you see, what I was going to say with PPK, and I've kind of touched on it before, but I think what draws a lot of people into PPK, and I mean, I've never been to the site, so I can't actually pass judgment.
The free dominoes. Not
just the free dominoes, but because it's not actually a free
That's
dominoes
enough to get me there,
unless you book in advance. But the thing is, I mean, that's it. Anywhere that offers free pizza is I can almost guaranteed to be found there. But with PPK, and like you said, Albert, it's a bit of the media presentation. I believe it's the fact that they advertise it as a free walk-on. But that, I think, the moment people see free walk-on, they go, yeah, champion, that's me there. Because obviously it's not going to cost you anything. But it is site paint only. So if you don't have paint, you can go out and play, but you're not going to be shooting anyone. So you've then got to buy paint, which is yes, you are getting free entry, and you could turn up and you could take photos, you could do all that sort of stuff if you wanted to, but you're not actually playing. You're just turning up to the site and you get access to the fields and all that sort of stuff. So that's what I think has drawn people in. But then I'm struggling to find a way to describe it. But basically, that's what they're using to draw people in. Yeah, that's how I see it anyway.
Is he drawing people in though? That's what
from what I've heard. Yes.
From what photos I've seen of his walk-ons, he's got good numbers.
Photos can lie.
Oh yes, well, photos, they cleverly taken photos along with the right wording. We experienced that years ago that was sometimes the case. But it does seem as though he does have good numbers turning up, which how I do.
I'm trying to be good again. He might have had one good walk on, and he's reusing the photos.
Well, that could be entirely
You know, not
possible. I
ev-
haven't actually looked into it that much.
He does, yeah, but he does run a big walk on and a small walk on as well. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
The thing is,
So
I'm sure
if you're being told that it's not very big numbers, were they at the big walk on or the little walk on?
Pass, I've never been to the event. It's just what I've been told of numerous people that he's a bit of a dim.
Right. Well, hopefully that's
Like
not the case.
dim.
Yeah. I would hope that that isn't the case, but if it is, that's unfortunate. Right. We'll drop back into answering some of the comments here. So Martello's saying that it won't be as hot because they're going in September. So that's fantastic because people like me don't handle the heat very well.
Don't kid yourself. You're not going to make it.
No, I'm not going to make it. Unless I have a lottery win. And Mark also says...
Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be there as well. But I very much doubt I would be able to swing that one.
Yeah.
Unless I manage to somehow persuade my wife that we need to go on holiday to Croatia in September next year. And I happen to need to take my paintball gear with me.
Yeah. Oh, darling, it just turns out that there's a game over here with all my friends in it.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
Well, why do you want to go to Croatia for, Colin?
Well, you know what it is?
I've been told it's nice there, person.
You know what it is? It's just actually, like, I've just thought that it would have been brilliant if Borg had still been around, because I still think, you know, that commenting on something, and yes, it's the internet, and yes, you know, it's what's the likelihood of it actually being serious? But commenting on something that Borg had shared, they have one of his videos that he posted up years ago, and I've talked about it before, but he's in like a second floor. There's no wall to the building, and he just runs and jumps across like a 2 meter wide gap onto a flat roof that's that's the same height as the floor he's on, and then just carries on playing. And I remember posting saying, you know, that would never be allowed in UK paintball. And he's like, "Oh, just come stay with me and we'll go play paintball." It's like, what? Just invited some random stranger off the internet to come and play paintball and like come and stay with you and stuff. He's like, "Oh yeah, just come and stay in my house." And like, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, come on. If he'd still been around, it would have been great. Just like, how it? What the technical problem broadcaster going to stay with Borg for a week. But yeah, that would have been great. Ghost says he wants to start a MagFed tournament because he thinks that we need a different tournament. Ghost, you know what it is? I think so. Actually, now that I think of it, District 23 are actually on about starting a tournament series along the lines of that. Now, I'm not sure if it's specifically MagFed. It may or may not be, but I do think like something like that could actually be very, very fun and very, very popular.
There's one ran on YouTube, Tipmander one.
Yes, yeah, that is actually very well put together. What is it? It's Tipman Tactical or something like that, Albert.
Challenge, two-man and three-man tournament style, where they've got to get the flag and take it to the opposite side, but they're using MagFed guns. District 23 are on about doing something along that lines. But they're saying teams only. So you've got to be in a team before you can go. They're saying they won't. Like you can't have a scratch team. So like 5 of us turn up and just play. They're saying they want an actual team. Yeah,
that's understandable because if you've got actual teams booking in, you know it's guaranteed. You can't guarantee that there's going to be enough players to actually form a scratch team turn up, can you? But
to be honest, I'll have a look on their website, but I think they're again. I think they're struggling to get numbers.
It does seem that the OMG event is doing very, very well. I'm not
sure. I'm not saying about OMG. I'm saying that for this tournament idea.
Oh, for the tournament idea, right? Yeah.
They're struggling for numbers.
Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of really cool stuff is happening at a really all
at the same time.
Yes, at a time when I'm going to be
torn between where they want to be.
Yeah. Because I would love to. I think playing the sort of the MagFed like I say, I'm saying MagFed because I don't know if it is specifically MagFed. But playing something at District 23, I would love to go down and play that. I think if it was, I would love to play like a tournament where it was like you're limited to like 50 balls, and that's it, 50 balls per game.
Wash your mouth out, so.
I'm just thinking.
No, but say Albert, you know, like
Martello has planned all my holidays for next year. We're going to Newquay for a holiday, and now we're going to Croatia as well.
I thought for a second that you're going to say you're going to America and I'll come.
Now that would be a good one.
Yeah, we'll have the third one to America as well.
Mr. Lardy-da having 3 holidays in a year.
Yeah, but to be fair, we'll probably, to be able to have 3 holidays in the year, we'll probably end up having to fly in a cattle crate.
We do favours for air travel.
Yes, I can't remember who it is that's doing the MagFed Awards. Gassie's mentioned to Martello in the chat.
The MagFed Awards the MagFed Awards, I believe, was being put on by Alex Monroe, which Alex, I believe, was connected to OMG in the early days of it, but he also it was Next Gen, but I don't actually know if Next Gen are still actually doing anything at the moment. I haven't really followed the MagFed scene in the UK that closely for a bit of a while, so I can't say for certain. If anybody does know the information on that, please feel free to share it with me. I'm interested in finding out. Ghost, yes, Rap4 do Rap4 do MagFed conversion kits for, yeah, I know, I'm child, for the 98 custom. I am
child.
I think it's the Blizzard kit.
Child.
Yeah.
The MagFed Awards, sponsored by OMG.
Sponsored by OMG, but it's not being put on by OMG, yeah.
Basically a social gathering of a few awards sponsored by OMG.
Yeah.
It will become an independent, basically.
Yeah.
And run it on the same day as the event, as one of the events, that Stair Wars.
Yeah. Wait, that kind of makes sense. I mean, it's going to be a big gathering of MagFed players, so I can understand them doing something along, at the same time as that. It does make sense.
But why have a separate one? Why not just all jump onto what Martello's trying to do?
I can understand that point of view as well.
Because Martello's got a MagFed section.
Yes.
So why have a separate event?
Because
I'm agreeing to appear after Martello had already put this on Facebook.
I mean, I personally, if it was me, I'd have been like getting in touch with Martello and say, even if you'd been planning it separately, just say to him, look, if you want to run this together, we'll sort the MagFed side of it, you sort the other side of it.
Yeah.
Make it easier for both of you, but it just seems like
exactly why it is.
You've got the paintball awards with everybody involved, and then a MagFed paintball awards that's only including MagFed. That's already included in the other one.
Yeah.
It seems a bit of an odd way to go about it. Why not promote it together rather than try and? I mean, a lot of people in the MagFed community seem to complain about being alienated, but doing that to me is alienating themselves.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to put over. Yeah, that basically they're trying to make themselves more exclusive than what they already are, and they're alienating themselves even more so to the rest of the people.
It's self-alienation. It's not that other people have a problem playing with them. It's they have a problem with other people playing with them. Not for the majority. There's plenty of MagFed players. Example, Pete Finnegan.
Yeah. But Pete Finnegan, do you really class him as a proper MagFed player though? Because he is using a modified autococker.
Right. Hang on. Right. When you say proper MagFedder, do you mean somebody using a MagFed gun, or do You mean
I'm just jesting. I'm just
a
jesting.
Tango Charlie Delta dress up?
Operator.
I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing.
A non-military operator. That's called.
I could think of other names for them and they begin with W.
See, I was just going to go down the route of LARPer, because as much as I know that there's a lot of Magfed players.
No, it rhymes with something that you throw off a ship.
Yes, and I know which one you're on about, Albert. But
No, not just one. There's like the
Yes.
ones that really do think they are.
yes, and
operators.
yeah,
And-
yeah, they
yeah,
think that
yeah.
they're real soldiers. Yes,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah. They're basically something you throw off a ship.
Yeah.
I mean, it begins with a W.
You see, to me, it's you do have the hardcore ones that they are full LARPers. You know, they take it deadly serious in the same way that some people dress up as like orcs and goblins and elves and stuff on the weekend and go and throw beanbags at each other and go hocus pocus and poof and stuff. It's the same sort of thing in a way. You know, you just some people like dressing up as soldiers and playing like that. Some people like dressing up as warlocks. But yes,
Yeah, but one's something that you can be in real life, and the other one isn't. So, yes, you can play pretend. It makes sense to play pretend in something that doesn't exist in the real world.
It's a fantasy.
Yeah, which is a fantasy, not
but
pretending to be something you're not.
I can't even.
Then it is possible to be.
I can't help but argue against that, because it's like there's people pretend to be a lot of things that you can be that aren't, say, soldiers. You know, you get some people that pretend to be doctors and nurses. You get
pretends not to be ginger.
you get some people that pretend to be.
Some people get some people that pretend to have a dog.
But you get people that pretend to be police officers for things, or you'll get people that pretend to be all sorts. It's
Dexter, and those are criminal acts.
It depends on the circumstances, doesn't it? Because it's like if you are literally going out and pretending to be a police officer and trying to arrest people and stuff, then yes, that is a criminal act.
So what other way is there pretending to be a police officer other than at a fancy dress party?
Actors.
Or in your bedroom.
Or in the bedroom, Colin.
Actors. I mean, actors are just LARPers, aren't they? They're just LARPers that are doing it in front of a camera.
I've just got visions of Colin now in a naughty nurse outfit.
Oh god. Nah.
Why have you got why a naughty nurse outfit?
Yeah, why not a French maid?
I mean, come on.
Yes. Colin's
Of all the
costume for
things-
Heroes Villains next year. The Joker nurse outfit.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Oh,
I still think Albert's got to go as Hitler from
Little Nicky. Yep.
With a French maid's outfit and a pineapple.
Oh, that's brutal.
So are you gonna go as the advisor that's got the tits on the top of his head with a bra on?
No, I'll leave that one for Dex to
I
do.
must have missed something here.
What's that?
I don't know what on earth you're on about.
You haven't seen
You've
Little
never
Nicky?
seen the film Little Nicky?
No.
What?
You need to go and watch Little Nicky.
Do I really?
Basically, the gist of it is Hitler is in hell, and he has to,
Naturally.
as part of his punishment, he has to go and pick the pineapple that the devil is going to shove up his backside.
And he gets wrong for
Whilst
picking
wearing
up.
a
French
whilst
maid's
wearing a French maid's outfit. He goes and picks a little tiny one, so then the devil makes him pick a bigger one.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Albert, that isn't the whole plot of the movie.
Yeah,
There's a lot more happens
that
in
is-
between that. Yeah.
There is a lot more. It is a fantastic film, but yeah,
It's about
that particular scene is why you need to go as Hitler in a French maid's outfit with a pineapple.
I wanted to was hit Freddy Star Hitler.
You see, you've got to be
No.
really careful when you start dressing up as Hitler because there's a lot of people get very, very offended.
Which is why I was suggesting the little Nicky one, because Hitler in a French maid's outfit is not going to offend anyone.
Oh no, trust us, mate. You don't know the internet.
Which you don't.
No.
Have you actually seen the Freddie Star Hitler?
No, I don't think I have. But Colin, if you think that Hitler in a French maid's costume wouldn't offend people, you don't spend enough time on the internet, my friend. There was a guy nearly got 2 years in jail for making his dog Ezekiel. To be fair, I've probably just landed myself in trouble saying that. But there was, Count Dankula nearly got 2 years in jail. And he actually got charged for the hate crime and money just taken out of his bank account against his will because he made his dog Buddha lift a paw to the famous phrase. And he did say something else to make the dog respond to that, which I literally cannot say online because I could potentially be done for a hate crime for saying it, because that is how stupid our laws are now. I mean, it was a blatant joke that was done to take the mick out of Nazis, and he got done for a hate crime for it. But have you then seen that there's a film coming out which it has a whole lot of superstars in it, where a little boy's imaginary friend is Hitler, and they're all in Nazi uniforms and hunting Jews and all sorts. But
because the boy is in the Hitler Youth.
Yeah, and the boy's in the Hitler
film.
Youth, and it's a parody on Nazis, but that is perfectly fine. But a bloke making a joke of taking the mick out of Nazis, hate crime. Very interesting, isn't it? And as Richie says, it was a pug. So yeah, that's the thing. You cannot do anything related to the Nazis to take the mick without offending people.
I mean, to be fair, the amount of times you've said Nazis on this stream, it wouldn't get monetized anyway.
Oh no, yeah. The minute you say that, even just once, this stream would just be demonetized if I even had the potential to monetize it. So anyway, I'm just writing down something that that Gassy has suggested. New T-shirt opportunity, Dex. Force-fed operator.
I like that.
Getting back to one of the subjects we're supposed to be talking about, the MD100 magazine, the continuous feed.
Yes, sticking on going back to MagFed.
The Planet Eclipse continuous feed dive down.
But that's the thing.
Well, I know what I would like to do to some of them.
What was that? Sorry, Albert?
We're trying not to alienate them, even though I know what I would like to do with some of them.
Right, well, can we just address this? This is the thing. It's a vocal minority of these players that are the ones that spoil it for a lot of people. Like me and Chan, we haven't been for a little while now. I haven't been for a while because I've just been so busy with everything else. But I regularly like to try and get down to play District 23, and you regularly, when you go down there, play with MagFed players. And those MagFed players have no problem to us going out, as long as we don't abuse basically, as long as we're not dicks. As long as we're not dicks when we go down and play, they are more than happy for us to play alongside them and play against them and stuff. But it's if you go down and you're cane and paint, that's when they're going to have a problem. Because the way that I view MagFed, and I think a lot of these other players view it, is they want to play a game style where there's just less paint in the air and you can focus more on movement than you can about just cane and paint, which I do think there is a lot of players that is all that they want to do, is just spray paint down range in the hope that one ball does hit somebody. I'm not saying that's everyone, because again, that's a minority of other players, of the hotter fed players. But
I know someone who does that and doesn't hit anything.
Yeah, well, that's but that's becoming my play style nowadays. But
six boxes at shoot 6 boxes at a grey wall.
But this is it. There is this vocal minority of players that play MagFed that their opinion is, if you aren't shooting something that looks like a real gun, then you shouldn't be allowed to play with them. I mean, there was people that, in fact, I know that there is still people that they see my name on posts and they can't stand me. They hate me because I argued with them so much when Magfed was first kicking off, because I could see that these were players that were trying to alienate themselves from the rest of the community, and I was trying to argue against that, because it's like, you know, alienating yourselves. Again, that was what they were doing. They were alienating themselves. It wasn't any good for the community as a whole. I mean, we're a very small community as it is. We don't really want to be fracturing ourselves off even more than that. I can understand going, look, we want to have an event where we're going to do this X, Y, and Z. Okay, right, if you want to have an event where it's like literally, right, we are playing pistols only and that's the end of it. Okay, fair enough. You want to do that? Okay, cool. But don't be surprised that if you go, I'm playing pistols and I'm playing pistols only and that is all I ever want to play. Well, don't be surprised when there's not that many people that are playing pistols only. You know, if you're playing, like, if I want to, in fact, I can't play a stock class only game because there is probably like 10 stock class players in the entire UK, maybe. There's not enough stock class players really to put on stock class games. I think the only place that was doing them was Holmbush years ago. And that was it, and even then I'm not sure if they were stock class games or if they were actually mag-fed, hopper-fed games. Pump games.
There you go, Dex. Gassy said, your play style is the walk from the start gate to the dead bot.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Go get yourself up with District 23. It's a fantastic little site to play. And just Richie Wong says, he hates me and he's my friend. Richie, you hate everyone though, so, you know. And Ghost there says, ban First Strike and it'll sort everything. I can't argue for banning First Strike because the way they are, there's only a handful of players can actually afford to use them. And even those players, they're not shooting them in that large of an amount that they are such a threat on field. I mean, if you take, for example, someone like the Hidden Hedgehog, right? Ash probably fires, let's be generous, 200 shots a day. Well, all you've literally got to do is just walk at him. Have a handful of players. If you're, like, say, at a big game, have a handful of players walk at him for the first half an hour of the day, and he's out of paint.
Most First Strike users I know of are sponsored.
Yeah, but even then, the sponsorship is going to have limitations. It's not just going to be, right, shoot as much as you want. Because, I mean, can you imagine if you just went to somebody, right, go on, let's First Strike, there's an unlimited supply, just go out and shoot First Strike. You would have players that would shoot 200 First Strike a game. And I mean, 200 First Strikes, what? You're probably looking at about 80 quid for 200 First Strike?
Am I wrong, but aren't First Strike in this country only allowed with a bolt action rifle, or is that not law?
It's
something
not law, no.
I think that's one of OMG's laws, I think,
yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
it's one of OMG's rules, yeah.
Will they also do it at Mayhem?
But that's it.
It was also at Painfest as well. I think it's like an unwritten law, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you want to play First Strike, it has to be in a bolt action.
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, the First Strike and bolt actions isn't a law. It's just a thing that's done for kind of stop players being massively overpowered. Because if you did have some like millionaire that turned up to play and was able to just load, 5 mags with 20 First Strike rounds each game and go out doing that game after game after game.
Damn one, full auto.
Belt-fed machine gun.
Yeah.
With First Strike.
There's a bloke on YouTube, isn't there? A Canadian guy who plays full auto on First Strike.
Then he must have a lot of money.
For life of me, I can't remember his name, but he uses a diadem and he had it on full auto on First Strike.
Yeah, he probably hasn't been doing that for very long. Like I said, mate, I think it's about 80 quid for about 200 First Strike. So I think you can get like 600 for about... I think it's 600 for about 160 quid. I think it's something like that.
when they
So-
first come out, you know, when they came, and they were just in like 10-round tubes. I did buy some, and I was breech loading them into me E-Tech.
Yeah.
But then I also muzzle loaded a couple into an old pump gun,
Yes.
and they are quite interesting to shoot.
Oh, they're fantastic fun to shoot.
But it's the price.
Yeah, exactly. That is my point, Albert. Unless somebody is minted, they can't afford to go out and shoot first-rate rounds consistently. That's why you have the players that do shoot first-rate. Like I said, they might use 200 shots in a day, so it's about the same amount. It's going to cost you about the same amount that it would if you're shooting 2 boxes of paint a day, but obviously shooting a lot less because they're shooting a lot more accurate. However, if you know that there is a first,
funny.
it's lagged a couple of times, Colin. If you are shooting first rate, you are a more accurate player. You know, the rounds are more accurate. Sorry, but as I said in the reference to say someone like just because he's really popular shooting first rate rounds, but let's say the Hidden Hedgehog. Well, if he gets 200 first rates to shoot every day, as I said, I mean, if you can pick out where he is and literally just send wave after wave of players at his location. He's only got 200 shots. You could literally cause him to waste his paint in the first half an hour and first hour of a game, and then you've taken this really effective player off the field. But that's an extreme situation. I mean, obviously that would require you say 10 players taking 20 shots per player, specifically.
To be fair, I probably take about 200 shots a
Oh yeah, well I mean that's it.
A game.
But you would have to take 200 shots specifically from him, and that is assuming that he would hit every single shot as well.
If I found out where he was, I'd try and charge him down anyway, just because it's a good laugh going after that.
Yeah.
Just as an experiment, I would like to see one of these top MagFed players go up against a proper speedballer, go up against a pro paintballer.
Well,
see who would.
I think, to be honest, I think if you got depending on the 2 players, I think you'd actually find that the MagFed player would probably win.
Not in my experience, Colin.
I don't know.
There was
because like Nicky said in the past, some tournament players have forgotten how to play in the woods.
Oh, yeah, I totally agree. But I believe it was done at I think it was Mayhem a couple of years ago, where there was a team of tournament players took TPXs out and decimated the MagFed players. But you've got to remember, those are players who are highly experienced in doing things like snap shooting and all that sort of stuff. They're players who, in some extent, may be at the pinnacle of that game, going up against guys that are going out and just playing as recreation. Now, that can be pretty much the same for regardless of any players. You put a good team of tournament players, even with something like TPXs, up against even regular players, and there is a very good chance that those tournament players with TPXs will decimate most teams regardless of their playstyle, because you know it's like putting a team of pro footballers up against a local scratch team. You know, most players aren't at that high of a level. And Gassie's just checked there, it is 600 for 180 quid.
Christ.
That'd be a rather expensive day.
The thing is, though, chances are somebody's not going to shoot 600 first rakes in a day, are they?
What's
They're
that?
probably gonna
Nearly
shoot-
6. That's nearly 6 boxes of Empire Evil or 5-star.
Yeah. But that's the thing. It's if you think about it, though, Chan, it's kind of like comparing a sniper with a 50 cal to somebody with a law, somebody with a saw. Sorry, you know, the person who's shooting the saw, you know,
or an M2 Browning.
Yeah. Or I mean, even if you give somebody, like say, an M16 versus a Barrett 50 cal, you know, it's the Barrett 50 cal. How much does a Barrett 50 cal round cost versus a 5.56?
5.56 is yeah. I get that, but if you're looking at its specifics, it's still a 68 caliber round. It still puts the same mark on an opposing player, it's still fired at the same velocity.
Yeah, but have you
It's
seen
more
the
like
range
match.
difference?
It's more like match grade.
Have you actually seen the difference in range versus normal paint, Chan?
Yeah, but
It's like
we've
range
been on
and-
the receiving end of it, Dexter,
Oh, yeah.
and they were bouncing off you and rolling on the floor. It's
Well,
50
yeah.
pence or whatever it equates to, depending on what quantity you buy it in.
Yeah, I
It's just
cannot
wasted.
argue with you on that. It is. I do think, you know, like, it's sometimes you've got these players that are shooting them at that great of a distance that, yeah, I mean, when you hit a tubby guy like me, they just bounce off. You've got to hit something solid for them to actually break. But then because they bounce off, because they actually bounce off, like we joked about before, I was picking them up and giving them to the Magford players I was seeing.
See, whereas we were shooting back the GI 5-star or the evil, whatever it would happen to be,
Yeah.
and still getting the range enough to hit them. Because for they weren't outranging us at that, and guaranteed
There's a difference, isn't there?
The shots break on them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's a difference between range and effective range.
You see, the effective range of a first strike though is like over 100 meters.
Yes, but it's not effective if it doesn't burst.
That's very true, but I would also then argue that
your effective range is at the point
where it takes you out of the
distance at
game,
which you can get a marking hit.
Oh, but
that's why some Magford players will bounce us to count on all
300
games.
meters away. If it doesn't break.
Well, yeah, and like Albert's just said, you know, that's the reason why a lot of Magford games count all hits, because they're using thicker shell paint for to cope with the fact of being under tension, stress tension, being held in mags for extended periods of time, and potentially squishing. So you use a thicker ball, but then the thicker ball doesn't burst, which is why, you know, I've argued before that if you exclude first strike rounds, Hopper is superior to Magfed purely down to performance, because you don't have that stress on the ball, you know, squishing them and stuff like you do when they're held in mags.
You can't run the same paints or a Magfed.
But even if you take into account what we've just discussed previous to the point you've just made, even if you do include first strike rounds, a Hopper delivery system on a paintball marker, whether it's Magfed or Hopper fed, is still superior.
Yes.
Because 5-star or top end Tony paints, whatever it is more effective than first strike rounds.
They're effective. Well, it depends on the context of what
even
your class
if
is effective. Because
well, it's more effective by the volume you can put. It's more effective in how brittle it is.
Yes.
So
but then
if you're positioned from the same range from a Magfed player shooting first strike as you are shooting 5-star, if you're both within range of each other,
that's the thing.
You're more likely
to
take them out of the game.
Well, I don't know if that can be. If you're at the same range, then chances are the first strike is going to burst on you. Most of the time when you're taking bounces from first strike, it's because they are at extreme range. So yes, they can still hit you, but obviously by that point, you know, the shot's lost its force. But I mean, you're saying, you know, like it's a cheaper round and it's more brittle when you're shooting normal 68 cal paint, like say your tournament grade paint especially. Yeah, you're totally right. But then when you take into account, you know, like first strike do have increased range, which yes, depending on the extent of the range, can reduce the how viable the shot is actually going to be on breaking. But you then also have that it's also a more accurate round.
So then
if you was
a good round ball, which is how muskets and cannons and a perfect sphere is a good projectile. So, like we're saying there, once first strike round is shooting at extreme range, it's going to be outranged by a good tournament paint.
It literally can't. I mean, you're looking at about
effective range.
you're looking at about 40 meters for a round ball versus like over 100 meters for a first strike round. When
Yeah,
it comes
but at
to,
what
to
point?
range.
At what point? At what
at what
point does
point
the
would it
first
still
strike round
break?
start to break on a normal soft target? How far away could you stand from someone shooting first strike and get hit and it break if it didn't hit you on a mask or on your hopper
over
or
100
anything
meters.
like that?
If you believe like the stuff that's been like done on, I think it's M. Carter Brown, over 100 meters.
And break on soft
Yes.
soft flesh.
Yes.
I think we need to do some
if you actually
actual
look,
testing.
if you look on M. Carter Brown, the testing was done and found to be over 100 meters. Now, of course, it does depend on the batch and stuff like that, which is the same for pretty much any paint. But yeah, it was over 100 meters with first strike. Because I actually featured a lot of the information in the video that I did. You know, like the paintball truths for airsofters video that I did, because it was that's one of the arguments that airsofters they try to have over paintball for a long time, was that airsoft BBs, you know, it had like significantly increased range over paintball, and that was where I got like it's about 40 to 60 meters for like effective range is about 40 to 60 meters when it comes to standard 68 cal paint. When you then go to, and whereas the effective range of even like a normal AEG can be like 100 meters when it comes to airsoft, but first strike can fire about 120, but it's like over 100 meters is actually about effective range for first strike. Catch you later, Ben. But yeah, that's the thing, they do have much greater range, accuracy, but I can't argue I couldn't justify shooting them based on the price. And also, as you said, I mean, they're not a brittle round. They're perfect for shooting through mag-fed markers because of the shape of them, but they are not a brittle round and they are prone to bouncing. It's the fact of the matter is, if you hit soft targets, you can't guarantee that you will get a break. I won't argue that they are that tournament paint is more brittle, but it's just that first strikes will break on that greater range. Just, you know, if you actually shoot a first strike round and a 68 cal round side by side, the first strike is even then going to be more accurate.
Don't mean to be a pain, but can we change the subject?
No problem.
I would like to talk about something that was brought up on Martello's screen.
Before we go on to that, can I just touch on something right quick? Chris Varney, mag-fed is like stock class, only difference is we use 10-round tubes. Chris, if you like that opinion, feel free to check out my merch store where I have a t-shirt that you might find applicable.
Stock class is, was it? mag-fed is drag.
Mag-fed is just stock class and drag.
Shameless.
Right. Martello's stream. I'd like to touch on something that was brought up, and that was about Classic Row 5.5 and why you know, I think it's better, and the 10-man is more inclusive. Yes. And I thought it was just a Colin, what the hell are you doing? Are you making your bait for tomorrow, sir?
What?
Stuff in your face, aren't you?
No, I've got some scran.
Stuff in your face. Yeah.
I am eating the Brooklyn.
Yes, so it was brought up on Martello's feed about 5.5. Yep. Yeah. And the gentleman who was on with Martello, he was saying he couldn't understand the difference. Well, I think there's a big difference between 5.5 on semi-uncapped or rampant.
The difference between 5.5 and semi-uncapped or ramp.
But I'm skirting what the bloke said. I can't remember exactly all the words.
Yeah.
But Dex will know what I'm on about.
Mhm.
He was on the receiving end. But yeah, I think it's definitely the 10-man is definitely more inclusive.
Yes.
The likes, like what Nicky T said, the person who might not have made it on the 5-man team will make it on a 10-man. The likes of myself, I'm not very athletic, but I felt as if I could make that
Colin,
extra push to
Colin,
that
are
next.
you eating crisps?
No.
You are, aren't you?
Why didn't you turn your mic off?
No,
while
you're
stuff in your
gripping.
face?
Sorry, Albert, you're saying.
I'll wait till he's finished stuffing his face.
There we go, it's gone.
No, yeah, I definitely felt as if I could actually
Compete.
make that next bunker. There's no way on God's earth if I was playing Sup Air
Yeah.
and it was Millennium whatever rules is it 10.5
It's
balls a
10.5,
second.
yeah.
Yeah. There's no way I would have made the 50.
Mhm.
Sorry, I wouldn't stand God nails chance. But at the JCC, on more than one occasion, I was on the 50.
Yeah.
It's the furthest I've ever been up when I've ever played. I haven't done much tournament.
Yeah.
It has been just local, but I've never gotten that far up the field before. And I felt I was contributing. I was actually taking players out. I wasn't just sitting at the back laying in paint for other people to move.
Yeah.
I actually felt as if I was part of the team, that I was contributing. And yeah, I think 5.5 is definitely the way forward.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say like in all occasions, and I'm pretty sure that's not what you're saying either. But it's definitely it's just a different play style, and as I said during the conversation with Matt and Martello, I think Matt was focusing quite a lot on the balls per second limit. And
rate of fire, that's all he was interested in.
That's it, and I think the rate of fire issue isn't as big of an issue as what he seemed to think it was at the time. Now I don't know if Matt's maybe started changing opinion since then, or if he's still got the same opinion. Either way, he's entitled to his opinion. That's perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes, but it's the 5.5 is of course only limited to people that are using tournament markers that can actually be capped at 5.5. Now, what I said during the conversation with Matt and Martello was that if you're shooting 5.5 from a tournament marker, chances are you're used to playing with the tournament marker, and you can play with that. Now, you're probably going to be a lot more accurate, and you can also sustain 5.5 for very long periods of time. You could literally stick with 5.5 the entire game and never go, like, you could shoot that from the moment you get game on to the moment you stop and not have to worry about having to walk the trigger, like massive high rates or anything like that. Very easy to do.
It wouldn't kill your fingers, but I wouldn't like to try and do that with a Mac or for God's sake, a pump.
Well,
I know we jokingly said we could do more with a pump.
This is what Lex is trying to say. You try and maintain a 5.5 ramp.
Yeah.
Or semi.
Yeah. I mean,
on a top end tournament marker like an Ego or an E-Tech or a Geo or anything along those lines, you could do that all day long without issue if you're an experienced tournament player.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd have to be experienced. I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Not hard at all.
Chances are the guys that are going...
It takes skill to get...
every second. And my E-Tech would have it at 5.5.
Yeah, but it's like my argument
whereas
was that
people say that you can hit 10 with a mechanical marker, but the skill comes in of maintaining that fire rate.
Yeah, that's exactly what my argument was. It's there's not many players who are going to be able to maintain a very, very high rate of fire using a mechanical marker. I mean, like, say for example, Chan using his GOG enemy was able to hit 17 balls a second, but he's not maintaining that for a full game, and I mean that's really going at it, fanning the trigger. It's just not viable. So yes, you could have a massive high rate of fire for a couple of seconds, and then you're going to drop off, and then you're going to maybe just drop down to just like popping the odd couple of shots off and things like that. Whereas you can just stay on the trigger and walk 5.5 all day, just keep tipping pods in, emptying your pack, and just keep going like that for the entire game. You can do that. So that's why that's when I was talking to them, I said, that's why I think it's so inclusive for the 10-man, because you could go out and play it. You could have gone out and played the 10-man with the Tipman 98 custom and not been outgunned, because there was other players on the field that they were shooting markers that were firing the same sort of rates as what you could get off of a Tipman 98. Now, yeah, a good player might be able to go out and decimate with that, but it's like the 10-man classic was something along the lines of what, yes, you may be in the lower leagues, but you could play that with like your son who's playing for the first time ever, and you could play alongside him and a whole load of other experienced players, and it's only...
And he's not going to get hammered.
Yeah. Perfect example, the Grizzlies, a total scratch team we'd never played before, and we came 5th in the Almost Pro League, and we were touted to come last.
Yeah.
We were touted to
the
come
whole thing
3rd out of 23rd. We were only there to make the numbers up, and he'd be very surprised if we made it out the 10th on the Sunday.
Yeah.
And we came overall, was it 8th out of all the leagues? But we came, was it 4th or 5th in the Almost Pro League?
I'm not exactly sure, but we did do very well considering the fact that there was only a few of us had actually played together before. I mean, most of us had played together, but not as like a team.
We'd all played together, but not
I mean, there was
a team.
There were some guys in the Grizzlies that I'd never even met before.
Was that?
Yeah. Like Will and Andy. I'd never met them.
All right, Will and Andy, yeah, because they're they do play Yarm a lot. Yeah. Andy used to play a tournament years ago in the same team as Gav.
Yeah.
When he was Colonial Marines.
Yeah. But I mean, that was what, the 90s?
Oh, yeah.
when you were a lad.
When Albert was a lad and I was a wee pup.
I was gonna say something there, like, but
but yeah, I mean, like Martel was just saying there, Matt ended up agreeing that it was a more inclusive game. He just got argumentative about the rampant / uncapped. Well, I think, I do think that with rampant, I think rampant does take the skill out of being able to water trigger, but it's also a great leveler, because obviously, anyone can just stick a marker on a high rate of fire, stick it on a low ramp kick in, and just rain paint downrange, and you can do that for God knows how long. But there is then a lot of skill that comes in when things like, you have more skill when it comes to like snap shooting or knowing where to put your lanes, actual moving on field, things like tree walking and stuff like that.
Don't get me wrong, when we played the likes of the actual teams that had played, like the Sandbaggers,
yes,
and the UK Preds, they played us off the absolute field. That was just something else.
Yeah, because those guys know how to play to a very high standard.
Well, the people like the UK Preds play Woods Bowl tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, because Andy was absolutely buzzing because he got 3 Preds out in one of the games. We didn't roll over and die in any game.
Yeah.
We give as good as we got for definite. It wasn't a total whitewash. I think was it one game where we were total whitewashed or not?
I'm not sure.
No. I'm thinking Nam Wrecking Crew.
Might
Did
have
the
been.
Nam Wrecking Crew take us all out, and we didn't get one of theirs?
I mean, to be fair, there's something to be said for people. I mean, I think it's the same. You get the same effect when you're playing with a pump.
Yes.
People take liberties that they think they can take, but they don't realise that they can't take. If you know what I mean.
Yes. Yeah.
Nah,
Do
I'm-
things
I'm-
that they know they shouldn't do, but they take a liberty because they think, these guys won't be able to counter this.
Yeah. Oh, these guys don't know what they're doing.
And,
Yeah.
and then you surprise them when you do, and then that puts them on the back foot.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
There's something to be said for that. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but that more than likely contributed to the success that you had
Yeah.
in a small way.
Now
Because I know
it was
people have said it to me down at Combat Zone when I've been playing with my pump. It's like, kind of, "Oh, you just take liberties because he's only got a pump,"
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, hang on a minute, he shot me out.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Because
Oh
people
yeah, I stayed out.
Well,
I stayed out
yeah.
from that bunker longer because I knew he's not got the fire rate. And
yeah, that's
stuff like
exactly
that.
it. It's because he isn't raining paint at us. There's not much chance he's actually going to hit us.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure it was a Nam Wrecking Crew was the only real bad,
Yeah.
not bad game, but I'm sure I think we took one of their guys out and they took all of us out. Even when we were playing the Russians, like saying the Preds, Sandbaggers, we managed to get a couple of players out.
We've got, I think we've got one or two of the rushers off the break.
Yeah, we did because the guy came over
Because they
shaking
came
our
over.
hand. Because we'd been watching them, hadn't we? And they all went left. So the entire team all shot straight down in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that because we were watching them, and literally the entire team would all break the same direction,
Yeah.
and then they move round. So we on purposely laned it, didn't we? Like
Yeah.
everybody shot for that one corner.
Well, you see, that's something that you've got to watch sometimes. You've got to watch
Yeah,
what teams do.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm sure it was an Arm Wrecking Crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they got like, I think we only got one of their players, and then they literally walked it. It was on the it was our first ever game on the concept field.
Yeah. Thing is,
And
first
we
ever
got-
game on concept field, things are gonna happen. Yeah. But it's even then, one's better than none.
Well, we were buzzing because we said we only went there to win one game, and we won our
Yeah.
first game.
Yeah. So you can't go wrong with
It's
that.
like when not this year so much, but last year when I went into the 2-man at Skirmish, it was like, well, if we win one game, it's a victory.
Do you want me to pass you 34s, or you think that'd be too big?
No, you're fine.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't expecting to win anything, and then we ended
Yeah.
up coming second.
Yeah, and you did
I mean,
pretty well.
we came second. We came second this year, but it was all down to Andy.
Next time you'll just have to pump more furiously.
Yes.
Yeah,
More
Colin,
furiously
you
pumping.
like the heckling at the sideline. You even had Nicky T heckling you at one point.
Yeah, that was really helping me. That was. Yeah.
I bet.
Cheers, lads.
Nicky T even said, he goes, what can Colin do with lovely friends like you?
I think I may play it next year, stock class or something.
HDR 50.
I might not even have my HDR 50 then. Thinking about
Yeah,
selling it.
What's the double barrel shotgun one's called? I can't remember what
It's the
they're called.
HDS
The-
68.
Yeah, play with a pair of them.
Yeah.
4 shots.
Pop
The whole
pop,
game.
Pop. The thing is though, the
Game over.
HDS 68, if you actually try and fire a double barrel, apparently the velocity is really low because it uses the same amount of air to fire both barrels as it does one.
So that's what I say. You've got 4 shots.
Yep. Yeah, but 4 low velocity shots.
Yeah. I think if you're going to sell the HDR 50, I might want to turn it into a
A prop.
No, not a prop.
A 50
Well, a
cal
prop in a
sniper.
sense, but it'll still be a paintball marker.
Yeah.
But it'd be Boba Fett's E3 carbine,
All right.
his iconic blaster. But
Yeah.
then obviously doing that would also be to convert it to run on HPA rather than 12 grams. So I can put a little 13 CI tank on the back.
Have a word with Dr. Rush. I think he may have something in the works for changing
I've,
it
I've
to.
got my own works, Dexter.
Fair enough then. You know, I just thought you might be able to have a word with him and get some ideas on what you're doing.
But it's pretty simple. In just instead of obviously putting the 12-gram
Don't
changer
look
up into the valve changer, you just cap it and then you put a 8th MPT fitting on the bottom and then run macro line to it.
Fair enough.
So the bit that you screw in and hit to engage the 12-gram, you just make a new cap with a screw thread cut into it to put a macro line fitting on, and that's it. But obviously, somewhere in between the tank and, well, depending on what kind of tank you've got, you'd need to put an adjustable regulator in just
Yeah.
to, well, actually, that would make it more legal than it currently is now, since it fires at like 350 FPS
It's perfectly legal though.
for 50 cal, yeah.
Yeah, for 50 cal.
Yeah, that's if all sites accept
The thing is, it's
it on that premise.
when it goes to sites, it's not a question of legality. It's a question of if the sites, you know, will just allow you to shoot more than 300 feet per second with it, because obviously it's sites insurance is generally based off of shooting 68, which is why the 300 feet per second obviously comes in place. But I think we've talked about it before, but I think the legal limit for 50 cal in the UK is like 490 feet per second or something.
For the dual energy limit.
Yes, that's it for the dual limit. Yeah.
Or foot-pound.
Yeah.
Right, I've got work in the
Yeah, and
morning,
old
lads,
money.
so I'm off.
Yes, I think it is about time that we'll call the stream to an end. 'Cause,
Yeah,
yes, work and all
This
that
is
sort
the
of stuff.
latest we've ever gone on, Dex. It's like 11 here.
Yeah. That's it. Bloody hell, we've been going for nearly 3 hours.
And we've still not covered all the subjects.
Nope. What was the last one?
Well, it got. I did mention it, and then it got. And that was the MG100 constant feed mags.
Yes. It's who was actually making those?
Planet.
Eclipses mags.
Is it actually Planet Eclipse that's made them?
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
let's face it. If anyone was going to make constant feed mags, it would be Planet Eclipse.
What's the name of their mad professor?
What, Jack
Somebody
Woods?
is it Wood?
Jack Woods.
Yeah, him.
Woods.
Yeah. Comes up with all the cool stuff. But yeah, it doesn't surprise us that if anyone was going to do it, Eclipse would. But I did see that Wolf had put up a video where he was very excited about the prospect of constant feed mags for the dam.
Not be able to fire them the Planet Eclipse.
Well, the Planet Eclipse mags use die-dam setup, so yeah, they're going to be.
Yeah, this should be cross-compatible potentially.
Yeah, they are.
Will I let them use them?
On
Doesn't matter whether
Well-
let them use them or not. It doesn't.
No. I mean Wolf. He's sponsored by Dye.
Good
Are they
point.
going to let him use?
Well, to
Them-
be honest, I think there will have been some sort of deal between Eclipse, because obviously they've produced a gun that uses the die-down fittings. They've now produced a mag that uses the die-down fittings.
Oh yeah, obviously,
So-
yeah, I can understand that, but Wolf is purely Dye sponsored.
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
just
but
wondering
that
if
guy,
they're
what
gonna say,
I'm saying is, Dye would probably be okay with that because of the deal that they've struck up with Planet Eclipse. Now producing.
They probably have clauses in the deal with Eclipse that anything that they do to develop the mag, Dye can
can
then
use.
sell.
Well, what I would say is, like, generally with sponsorship deals, it's like, I mean, obviously, if it's a sponsorship that is related to something in particular, like, say, if you get a mask sponsorship, you need to wear that company's mask. If you get a gun sponsorship, you've got to shoot that that company's gun. But if he's got the gear sponsorship and it's a mask, gun, air supply, or anything like that, they might not have specified the mags. Because, I mean, well, if Damon is the only people that makes dye mags, well...
Yeah, but they probably specify loader.
But the loader...
Because he's got die rotor, he's got die box rotor, he's got die mags.
Yeah, but that's the
I
thing.
wish I could get any job shut. Right, I'm going to bed. Bye.
Yeah, no worries. We'll talk about it on Wednesday, yeah? Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure to talk to you tonight. Hopefully we have been entertaining enough for you, and I'm trying to open
Not
OBS here.
rambled on too much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've of course we've rambled on too much, but you know, it's what we're here for, trying to entertain people. So yes, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a pleasure to entertain you. My name is Dexter. My co-hosts for tonight have been...
Yes, I'm Wolf.
Albert.
Albert. Yeah. Night.
Click clap pew Albert. Pump Fury Colin.
My name's Jeff.
And Northern Custom Works is the Chandy Man. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you happen to be interested, I also do have a Facebook page, which is Dexter's PB Lab. You can find me on Facebook. And also, there should be a link in the description down below if you want to check out any of my merchandise, which hopefully there should be more turning up soon. Please buy it and give me money. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. It has been...
Have you actually sold any merchandise?
No, I
yet?
have not. So... Please buy it. Nah, right. Yeah, it's there if people are interested. Obviously, he's on at the moment, so nah, it's cool. Anyway, it's been a pleasure to entertain you, and we shall see you all next time. Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
Bye.
Love you, bye.
Bye. Love you, bye.
Love you,
I
bye.
love you.